Episode
10.
Mate,
Double digits,
mate.
baby.
That's quite nice.
I was going to say, I did like a tester in a mug and I was like, yeah.
Episode 10.
Here we are, we're back. You're back from celebrating in Ibiza with Drake
Yeah.
for your birthday, innit?
Standard.
You know how sticky it gets.
Little getaway with the boy.
How have you been? I haven't seen you in like 4 days. It's crazy.
I've been good, man. How have you been? Living life.
Out here, you know, trying to get the pod popping.
Standard.
So what as usual, we lied last week. Whenever we like make an announcement, I feel we always lie. Like if we're like, next episode we'll be back, it never happens.
Yeah.
And especially if we say like we'll be back next week, never happens.
It's just bad energy.
We jinx
When
ourselves.
you
So we're gonna keep the episode a bit. We don't have like a one topic we're gonna dive into because there's a couple of things like we've missed.
Yeah.
So do you want to start with like music, or do you want to jump in with like movies, TV, and that?
I don't have a strong preference. Is there any topic you like immediately want to go over to start with?
I mean, we missed Brent's album, so should we start with that?
Yeah.
Just 'cause like that way we're fully caught up
Mhm.
on the albums we missed. What did you think?
I wanted more
Same.
from the album, to be honest.
Yeah, I was considering it's his first like album, right?
Mm.
Where like everything else has either been a mixtape or an EP or whatever you want to
Yeah.
call it. This was like the Brent album.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like with Brent, he's been like slowly getting bigger, and also like musically, he's slowly also been improving, like
Yeah,
bit by bit.
I was gonna say like every release has sort of felt like it was building.
And I don't know, like you, I thought this was gonna be, you know, his debut.
Yeah, like he was gonna come
This is gonna
out
be
and
his body
everyone
of-
was gonna be like, "Oh shit!" Like,
Yeah,
Brent.
yeah. Like this was gonna be like his body of work, where you go, yeah, like Brent. I don't know, like solidified his name.
Yeah, because like Brent as an artist is weird because like, obviously to start with, I know he's independent, so already he's sort of not got the push, the playlisting of a major artist on a label would, but he's like known in R&B, but I don't know if that translates to listeners. Like unless you're an R&B fan, I don't know if people know Brent.
I don't know, like,
Outside of like, oh yeah, I've heard the name.
I think he was, like I said, I think bit by bit he's been getting bigger and bigger. Like obviously, like the song with Drake, like
Yeah,
that can't hurt.
Yeah, well, and it was also Pharrell, Neptunes.
The Neptunes, yeah.
Doing the beat, which I don't know why it's on the album.
There's a
Because
few.
it sounds so different.
Yeah, I mean
Just
that was
with the production and everything. I was like, ooh, like most of like Mercedes and a couple of the others, like Dead Man Walking's on there, isn't it?
Yeah,
I thought those fit.
they fit, but like also like a few of them are like, I know like
Let me
tons of
check
artists do this now, but like a few of the songs were quite old.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
Dead
yeah.
Man Walking, and the song with Drake. Obviously the one with Tyler's on there as well.
I hadn't
Gravity.
actually heard that. Was that?
That was a single, yeah.
Oh, that must have been
that
time
was- that
ago
was-
then,
that
because I
was-
don't remember that dropping.
It was.
I was
It
gonna say. Oh wait, yeah, Gravity. Vaguely now, I forgot the name of it. That's the thing with this album. I liked a lot of the songs, but it's kind of hard to remember them. I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
They just sort of washed. And I've heard this album like 3 times because I was like, maybe I just wasn't in the right like headspace the first time I heard it for whatever reason. You know, sometimes you just hear an album and it don't click. But I was going back through and I was like, oh yeah, I remember liking this song. And I was like, but it just didn't.
But yeah, it's, I don't know, because when the track list got announced, I had a bit of like worry because
Yeah.
I was like, oh, 4 or 5 of these songs I already know. And like, don't get me wrong, like all 4 or 5 songs that were singles are like good songs.
Yeah, well,
So,
and
but it's just I don't like when artists do that because it feels like they're trying to fill out the album.
yeah, especially the way he announced it, where it's like, here's all these features, and it's like, I know half those songs already. Like the second I saw Drake on there, I was like, well, I know it's not a new song with Drake.
No, of course.
Which was kind of like, I feel like if you're gonna do that, it needs to be like when Abel did it with Dawn FM, where we hadn't heard a single song, so you can just be like, here's everyone on the album.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if I've heard half of them, I'm gonna be like, well, yeah, of course they're on the album. I
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Like, I don't know. It was just everything about the rollout was kind of weird, and
Because there was one of the songs that was like a massive time gap between the actual album. Let me get it up.
I mean, yeah, like
Well, Dead Man Walking was
I was-
2020.
I was gonna say, Dead Man Walking was out ages ago, and even Wasting Time was out last year because last summer they were playing it
But you
in
can't
August.
like,
So
you can't be putting a song from 2020. It's just hard to believe that. Like I said, I know a lot of artists do it now, but it's just I don't know.
and as I said, I think it fits. It just feels like you're wasting a slot though, almost like
Yeah, like I said, it feels like he was filling out the album.
yeah.
Where like I don't know, he just needed to beef it up a bit.
Yeah,
So-
like yeah, there was a lot. As I said, I really feel like Wasting Time is so out of place. Like the production don't fit the rest of the album. Like
No,
at least
no.
Dead Man Walking has a similar vibe to the other songs. Whilst I agree that it's so old, like why is it on there? It sonically, if I didn't know when any of these songs released, it still feels cohesive. Whereas, as I said, like Wasting Time is just like, oh, this was a big song. Let me. Throw
Yeah,
it on,
it's one of them
sort
ones
of
where like
thing.
he had to put it on. It's
Yeah.
like, but I don't know. With Brent, like I said, I expected more from the album, and
Yeah.
from all of his mixtapes / projects that he's released, I have like a very similar thing with all of them, where it's like I like them.
Yeah.
I like that they're a good listen, but like apart from that, like it always feels like there's something missing.
That's
like there's
I agree. Like
there's potential, but it's not quite like being hit. Like, because I'll compare him to like I don't know, say like Party for example. When Party came out, like straight away with like P1, you're like, oh, like,
yeah.
do you know what I mean? Whereas when I first listened to Brent, I was like, oh, like there's potential here, but
I
like
agree.
this tape isn't like a classic. This tape, do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I
it,
don't
fe-
really
it feels
have-
like he's very underground, but also with this album is trying to break out of that, but is still trying to make the music more underground, and it's just a weird split where like the people he has on here, like Tyler the Creator, Alicia Keys, Drake, like those are big fucking names, but then like you look and like we said, two of those 3 are old songs.
Yeah,
And it's sort of like, well, what? I don't know if he had a vision for this album.
Exactly. And when artists do that, it makes you doubt that.
Mm.
Because you're telling me a song from 2020 was like planned. I don't know. It's hard to buy that it was all planned to be part of an album.
Yeah.
What, besides the point of him just putting the songs on there to like beef it up and
Yeah, because
give it, I don't know, give it more
I-
attention.
especially as he was pushing this whole wasteland thing, like I really wanted more. Like, and you've got all them skits that are sort of telling a story.
Yeah, and like the album ain't. It's already like not the longest album. Plus you have
yeah, it's
like,
only an hour with 19 songs, which is
with like, but if you include the songs that, if you know about
skits.
Brent, you've heard 5 or 6 of these songs already.
Yeah, and then
you got
subtract
skits.
3 of those skits, I think, are just
Yeah.
talking. And like, I get it. It's a story, and
Yeah, but it's just
I'm
that
never gonna
combined-
revisit it. I'll be real. Like
yeah.
like I like albums that have skits and tell a story, but honestly, like when I listen to music, I'm not gonna slap on "Wake Up Call." Like, yeah, I'm almost like you could have just put that in a music video to go with the song, where
Yeah,
you've got this
yeah.
like little drama piece either at the start or the end, and the song tying into it. Like, I don't know, it just sort of felt there was something possibly great here. Like this idea of it's all about LA being this wasteland, and that already connects it to the whole Gatsby thing he mentions in the song. Like,
yeah.
But it's not there. You know what I mean? It's like
I agree with you.
I can see it in the distance if I squint, but the album as a whole just didn't.
Just the quality,
deliver
yeah. Like, I don't know, and like I said, I think Brent's talented.
Yeah.
And I still do feel like he does have potential, but it's just for now, like, if you told me like, I want to get into Brent, I can't really recommend a body of work more than giving you like a handful of singles.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, because like I said, like, I'm not saying his albums are bad, because they're not. Like, if his mixtapes / projects, like, they are like a good easy listen, but it's just I'm not going to be raving about it like I would with like other debut, like Trap Soul, P1, House, stuff like that. Free Black, like,
that's who I mainly it's like for me who I compare Brent to a lot is Black and Giveon, and the thing is, both those artists, their projects are so confident. I don't know why I don't have that with Brent. Well, because Brent has the talent, like, he can sing, like.
But it's interesting because, like you said earlier, it feels like he doesn't know whether he wants to make like this be his mainstream thing and branch out. Because like either way, he kind of had to put the Drake song on there. Like, I get that. Like, if you have a single with Drake and it was like a popular song,
I was gonna say
you're
that
gonna
song
put it on
was
the
everywhere
so,
that summer.
Whereas like a project like Free Black, like, he wasn't looking for like commercial.
Like, literally, he was just
he wanted to make a project that was like, this is me. So,
and I just think Brent as well is trying to experiment with his sound, but then doesn't want to in other places.
Yeah.
Where like the Neptunes thing really was a different vibe for Brent, but then a lot of these songs do sound kind of samey, and it's that production I'm used to hearing Brent on, and I don't think these songs are better than his other songs on the same or similar production, where it's
genuinely,
sort of that. It's almost like trilogy-ish mixed with like the trap soul sound. Like they kind of merged to give this sort of laid
like
back,
that smoky,
like moody
I get
sound.
the vibe, but like you say, his verse, all his other tapes have that vibe.
That's the thing.
And like, I don't know. I expected something. Not like I want him to make a fucking dance album, but I expected something a little bit
I thought he was gonna, where it's his album, I was expecting a bit more trying different sounds and stuff, rather than just, hey, here's the same stuff you know me for, which like he's good at. But like you said, it's a shame I don't have a Brent album where if someone said like, oh man, like I keep hearing about this Brent guy, what should I listen to? Like you said, it'd be singles. I wouldn't go like, just this whole project, which is a shame, because I think that's what every up and coming artist needs. No, definitely, especially like the artists we've mentioned who like have proven, like, when you have a body of work to refer to, it just gives you such a good impression for new fans and stuff like that. It's just how many people still go on about the mixtapes we just mentioned. This, like, I don't know, like, okay, again, with the Black comparison, we got Free Black, and then immediately, like, we got East Atlanta Love Letter, which is a good comparison, because it was still, you would still recognize it as a Black project, but it was different. That's the thing.
It was like it was an evolution of the first. Yeah,
it didn't
project.
Feel like he was just like, here's some more dark sounding kind of trap soul beats with me doing the same thing over. Like, and like a couple of features. Attempt to recapture problems on East Atlanta Love Letter. There's no attempt to recapture. You know what I mean? Like, he's not going like, oh yeah, people really fucked with the sound on this single, let me do it. Which is what it kind of feels like. Like, even the songs I like Dead Man Walking and Mercedes, I like both those songs. It does feel a bit like Brent was like, here's another one with, you fucked with Dead Man Walking, well, here's Mercedes. You know what I mean? And it's sort of like...
And like, why are they both on the album?
Yeah, exactly. Like, if it'd been like, oh no, I saw people fucked with that, so I locked in on that a bit more for the album. But it's like, oh, you like that? Well, that's on the album, and I sort of did another song like that.
It's just the track listing is interesting because like he has been getting a lot of hype over like the last year.
Yeah.
So I wonder if he was trying to like, not like force an album, but he kind of just like, all right, let me try put together an album.
Yeah, well, and there was that weird thing where, like, it seemed like he was going to do a Sonder album, but then like it was just a collection of like snippets on YouTube. Like, it was very bizarre, that whole rollout, because he just had that huge single with Georgia Smith on Sonder, and then, as I said, he sort of looked like he was announcing an album, and then it just didn't materialize, and then he was back to dropping singles with Drake and that. Like, I just think he's a bit torn on where to go.
Yeah, and like I said, where he caught hype off of like 3 or 4 songs.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know, like I'm not trying to speak for him, I don't know.
Yeah, of course, I don't know Brent Faiyaz.
Yeah. But maybe he's like, okay, let's capture this. Like, because and then that would make sense why songs like Dead Man Walking are on there, because that was like a big song which garnered like a lot of hype. And like it's from like 2020, so
yeah, that's the thing.
I don't know, but no, like it was an okay listen.
Yeah,
I wanted
it's
more.
not bad. Like, it's a solid enough album. It's just like you, I was left a bit ambivalent towards the whole thing. Like, yeah, it's cool. Once again, it's a Brent album. I'm gonna pull 6-7 songs from and go from there. Like the ones I like, and if they come on shuffle, I'll go, oh yeah, I like this song.
It's just I think the thing Brent suffers from as well is like there's so many artists who at some point were in that lane, and like, no disrespect, kind of did it better with a body of work.
Like,
it's
who specifically are you thinking of here?
Well, like the ones we've mentioned already.
Yeah.
Not to say like he's just straight up the same exact sound, but I don't know.
It's sort of that niche that's been left open by Party not dropping, Bryson not really dropping, Black not really dropping. That kind of dark, moody R&B vibe.
But at this point, that's not new.
Yeah.
Like, we've had so many artists since like it became mainstream, like the moody R&B.
Well, and sometimes with Brent, I just struggle what makes him stand out from them. Because a lot of them, their thing is they can rap and sing. And so they kind of merge it into this unique-ish style. Brent can sing, but he can't, like... I've not heard him on a song where his vocals have, like, truly blown me away. And
no, I get you.
That,
like,
you know what I mean? Like, he sort of reminds me of, like... I'm worried it's going to be like Roy Woods, where you're like, oh, man, yeah, those first couple of projects slapped. And then it's just sort of like, they never... found that next position in their career, and
because all the artists we've mentioned did
like most of them have transitioned or kind of just been big enough that it doesn't matter. Like Bryson never really transitioned in his career, but he just immediately blew up, so it didn't matter. But real. Someone like Party transitioned sound so much. Someone like Black, like we said, transition sounds even between 2 albums. Like Brent, I just haven't heard that from yet. Where he sort of found that pocket.
It's, I don't know. It just reminds me. You know how like everyone says, like he's the moody R&B singer who like is toxic. Like, who does that remind you of?
That's the thing. Like
it's. Do you know what I mean? It's not. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Like that, it's not new.
Yeah, like that's the thing. Like the beautiful thing about music is you can just, what mood are you in? You can find an artist that does that. But it's just a shame that I feel like Brent does have the talent and just doesn't go for anything else. You know, there's only like 2 songs I've heard from him where I feel like he tried something different. Like the song that came out just before Dead Man Walking. I can't remember what it's called. Where he's sort of being a lover man, where I was like, oh, this is something different. Show You Off. It was after Dead Man Walking as well. I'm wrong there. But yeah, man, like 2020, 2021,
No, it sounds like I'm shitting on him, but I'm not.
Yeah, honestly,
he's
like
talented.
we're only criticizing because we're fans.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think is the thing.
Genuinely,
I like Brent. If Brent comes over to perform, I'm absolutely gonna
For
try
real,
and see
for
him.
real. Like whenever he can ride the fuck out of a hook.
Yeah, like I do really fuck with a lot of those songs he put on Wasteland. Like I know we're saying it's sort of lazy, but it is like
but
I do.
They are
them.
good songs.
That song he has with Thames. Fuck
yeah.
it. When I saw her the other week and she did that live, I literally was like, whoa. I was like, man, this is a great fucking song. Like,
and I do like his first few mixtapes. I'm not shitting on him at all. It's just like I said, I thought this was gonna be the progression now, where like we get something a bit bigger, a bit more grand, a bit different, but we didn't really. Because like if you count Sonder, like how many tapes does he have?
I don't know.
Four, three or four?
I was gonna say 4. I think at this point.
So, with Wasteland now, yeah.
How many does he have on Sonder? I can't actually remember. Oh, are they not on Spotify?
I don't think it is. No.
Oh, the one is Into from 2017. But I'm sure they have at least one more. I could be wrong, but either way, he's had it enough that I feel he just should have made more of an impact. That like 2017, that is a long time ago. Like when you think of musically, like
no, definitely.
How many artists have come into like existence and not blowing up after like 4 or 5 years? Like, I don't know. It's as I said, it sort of makes me worried that he's gonna be like a Roy Woods or someone like that, where early stuff great, but they just never
really progress.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, already like he's had more. I would say no. He's easily had more hits than Roy Woods, and I think he's got like a stronger body of work than Roy Woods already.
I don't know if he does.
I think he does.
What?
Surely.
Exis, Waking at Dawn. The one in the middle that I always forget the name of.
Their whole
seasons
discography.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'd take Roy currently.
Really?
Yeah, like I like Brent, but I can at least say there's 3 Roy Woods projects I listen to every song off of. I can't say that.
If you're including like singles, features, there's no way, in my opinion.
But Brent doesn't have that many features.
But the ones he has, like.
Yeah, I don't know.
Surely.
I just personally, if we're talking discography, I would take Roy still. Like just for those first 3 projects, I think are strong enough. And I like Say Less Than You anyway. Nocturnal, that's what it's called. I always forget the name of it.
I'm taking Brent.
That's fair enough.
I get
Brent. Why. I'm just saying. At least with Roy Woods, there's a whole.
It is a good comparison though, because like you say, Roy. I know like Roy Woods
sort
gets
of that nocturnal, ambient, dark sound.
Like Roy Woods gets a lot of hate now, but like when he came about.
Although I am quite intrigued by his new album, from what I've seen talked about. We'll sort of get into that in a bit because it sort of ties into the Division. Which I think will be a good jumping off point from Brent while we're talking about Toxic R&B. But with Brent, to sort of wrap it up on him, I don't know what specifically I need from a Brent project, but I just want a bit more at the end of the day, like to feel, because also a lot of the songs are pretty short.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, I just want more from him overall, like. Not that I'm saying he doesn't put effort in, but I want to feel it a bit more.
Yeah. No, yeah. I think it is mainly where we have the, because Gravity, Wasting Time, Dead Man Walking, one skit. Like with the skits, there's 6 tracks like
that we hadn't heard.
No, that you've like take away 6 from the 19.
Yeah.
So 13.
And as I said, a lot of them were only like 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, I don't know.
So, Division dropped the first single from their new album. What are your thoughts on it? Sets the internet ablaze.
I thought it was okay. Yeah, I don't know. I thought
It's a different sound for them.
It is, yeah.
Fair enough.
What about you?
I really like the I think it's the perfect lead single for an album because it's catchy. It's a different sound for them. It's controversial.
Talking. Yeah.
When I was talking last pod before about being excited to have LVRN managing them now, this is sort of what I meant, where LVRN just know how to market the fuck out of an artist.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, there's a reason between Black and Summer Walker, they have like two of the most successful like underground R&B people of the past however long.
Yeah, no, genuinely.
Like, they just know what niche to find for their artists and that. And I think like, yeah, it was just, it got people talking at the end of the day, which is more than I can say for any Division release ever. I love Division. It does feel like people just sleep on them.
No, yeah, definitely. And for whatever reason that is, I'm not sure.
I mean there's always the element of every artist on OVO just gets unfairly.
They do.
Oh, they're just there for Drake.
Yeah, I mean,
sort of have all their stuff written off because it's not as big as a Drake song.
Yeah, it is a bit weird how like, because OVO is clearly a talented label, so it is weird how none of them really, bar Party to an extent, have like broke off and kind of, you know what I mean, like,
yeah, like they're not a name like that, like. It's like we know them. If you're a fan of R&B, you know them. But
or like a Drake fan,
yeah,
like, you would know like Magic Jordan. And
yeah,
but
even then, you might just be like, oh, those guys he had the one song with, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't even know where Drake doesn't really push his artists for whatever reason. I think sometimes it's easy to forget, like, oh yeah, that sort of person is on OVO, which is why Division were on a podcast recently, and it was interesting just to hear them talk about OVO, and it sounds like that it's a very hands-off label, where it's like if you want all their support, they'll give it to you, but if you don't, they won't. Like, if you don't push for it, they're not going to give it to you.
Yeah, it's not a standard thing.
Yeah, like
provide,
because they were saying like they never really collaborate that much with Drake and that, like, they're very internal.
It's interesting
because obviously they're a duo, singer and producer. They were just sort of like, yeah, we just sort of do our own thing and then go over to like 40, who seems like has a lot of input on the label and might even run it, and just sort of like, here's a new album sort of thing. Like, it doesn't sound like there's a lot of like, oh yeah, give this a listen, like, Drake, give me your thoughts on it. Like, they told a funny story where they were like, when their first project dropped, Drake literally had to come up to like 40 and be like, who are Division? Like, it was like girls were asking him who Division were because they were on OVO, and he was like, I don't actually know the fucking answer.
That's interesting, because it's always like something I've wondered with like these labels which are like technically run by the artist. Like, how hands-on actually are they? Because like someone like Drake, just from like the amount of stuff he does and him being Drake, there's no way he has time to like manage any artist. So like, I
mean, this is what we saw with Good Music and when Kanye was running it. How could he have possibly like? Like you said, it's just not really feasible.
You can't run a career for yourself. Whilst, like, also do you know what I mean? Collaborate with all these artists, and so it is interesting to like hear about that.
Yeah, like, and they sort of said like it varies so wildly artist to artist, because they were like, obviously Party like has a very close working relationship with Drake where they're constantly trading songs, and it is interesting that he's the one that does that and has the biggest career.
True, but
sort of thing. Maybe because he is so closely associated with Drake.
I mean, it can't hurt, but like the other thing is, how much of that is it down to Party being on his label, and how much of that is being down to like where he produces for Drake? And like they clearly, I mean, how many like reference tracks are there of like Drake songs like that were originally the Party song?
Like constantly. Well, and to be fair, we've even heard a couple where it's the other way, where it's been a Drake song and Party's ended up doing it. Like Not Nice and Don't Run. Quite a bit of P3, it seems, was sort of each of them from like leftovers from Views and sort of vice versa. So yeah, well, and also just is part of it that Drake just has Party on all his albums constantly, like more or less.
They clearly hit a spark somewhere. Like when they first started working together, and then
if you are a Drake fan, you do know who Party Next Door is. It's not just oh yeah, that guy he collabed with once.
Yeah,
like it's very feasible you could be a Drake fan and not even realize Division are a thing, because like oh yeah, those guys on that one song on Views, like that sort of do the outro.
Yeah, you know I mean? yeah, genuinely.
That's sort of it,
because that's all they have, right? Like as a straight up feature.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because like every other artist has like at least
like Magic have 2 songs with Drake on their albums.
Roy has
Drama,
which is like a proper feature.
Not like a humming in the background, like harmonizing thing. Like it is.
And then Popcorn has 2.
Yeah. Well, and just obviously Popcorn was already an artist prior to, you know what I mean? Like he's got that advantage where Popcorn was a known quantity before he signed to OVO.
Yeah. You know what I find interesting? That Drake doesn't have a UK artist on OVO.
Yeah.
I thought that would be like a given at this point.
Well, and also he talked about he's wanted to have a female artist on there because back in the day he obviously wrote a ton of songs for like Rihanna and Rita Ora and people. So
yeah.
I think that's what Georgia Smith was supposed to be.
I think supposed to be wifey. It's just, I don't know, I find it so interesting how, you know, like how he's clearly like a fan of the UK music scene.
Yeah, so
and it just it feels like it would make so much sense.
Yeah, definitely.
Just had a UK artist on his label.
Yeah, I could see it very easily. Yeah, I don't know, like OVO is such a strange label to look at because I think they have like just such a strong lineup, but it feels like you have to sort of defend them off the bat. It's like someone's gonna come in and be like, oh yeah, but da 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 da, and you're gonna be like, no, but they're good. I like Division actually. Like I don't know. I think it's just one of those things with a label where it either benefits them or it don't. Like Division, in many ways, I think it has benefited them because they've just been so true to their sound with each album. It hasn't felt like someone's come in and be like, what if we mixed it up a bit?
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
Where like someone like Roy Woods, he feels a bit more like, you know, he's a bit malleable with his sound presumably because of the label. I don't know.
Yeah, well, allegedly they were saying this new Roy Woods album, he has worked quite closely with Drake on it, so this is his last shot. And low-key, he doesn't even have a shot anymore, but I feel like if he can't make something happen then, I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard, isn't it? Once he had like a wave of hype, and then it just kind of... It's a similar thing to Brent, where like Say Less first album, obviously like I don't know. In my opinion, Say Less was bad, but
I think Say Less is a good. I would. Where we're talking about Wasteland, I would rate them pretty similarly. I think there's a similar number of good songs on there.
It's a similar thing because I expected more from Roy Woods.
I mean, I have the same thing with both, where I'm sort of meh on both of them.
It's just like because I was rooting for Roy.
Yeah.
Everyone was saying, "Nah, like, come on."
Yeah, because as I said, I think those first 3 Roy projects are fantastic. It's just, I don't think he had a lane. He knew where he wanted to go in.
Yeah.
But bringing it back to this Division song.
Yes.
So it started a lot of conversations on the internet, I feel like, where I had to question if everyone had lost their damn minds for a bit. So there were kind of 2 sides. Number one was I saw a lot of people saying this is like the most toxic song they've ever heard, which is hilarious to me because I don't even think this is the most toxic song on OVO. Like,
nah, it's
when Savage Anthem exists, I can't really. I don't know. That to me is like
no. It's
the pinnacle of toxicness.
Like you said, where it was controversial, I think people are just there. Well, and then they get ahead of them a little bit.
And I think the internet is just full of liars. Because all of us, so we were talking about how I haven't seen a lot of like Division talk online normally. All of a sudden, everyone's like, "Where's their old sound?" I'm like, bruv, where have you been? Where have all you people been all these years? Like, I don't know. I feel like people seem to forget that albums are comprised of multiple songs and not every single song is going to sound exactly the same, hopefully.
Genuinely. Listen, with Division, I'm okay with them doing a new sound.
Yeah.
In my opinion, we've had, three
albums and a collab with Ty.
I like, in my opinion, albums. Like 3 great R&B albums, like just straight up old school R&B with like newer elements. Like it's not just straight up early 2000s R&B, but I'm happy with what we've got from them.
Yeah,
so I'm okay with them trying something new.
Yeah, well,
like, I'm okay with that.
Even then, Division have always had like a toxic
twist.
You know what I mean? Like, there's always a couple of lines in there where it's like, oh. That's a bit of a wild thing to say, but because they sing it, I feel like people just didn't care.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? People don't notice.
It's kind of like the Weekend thing.
Yeah. Well, and I saw the other conversation this sparked was sort of, has R&B gotten too toxic these days? And I had to laugh at that because I was like, number one, R&B has always been toxic. Music in general has always been toxic. The fucking, you'll go out in a club and 99% of the time you'll hear "It Wasn't Me." And that is a fucking wild song. Like, is that really any worse than "If I Get Caught Cheating, It Don't Mean I Don't Love You"? Like, is it really that much worse? Or that different? And yeah, I don't know. I just feel like people claim like, oh man, I want R&B to sound like it used to, but there are so many artists dropping classic lovey R&B, and nobody talks about them.
There's been like a resurgence of that sound over like the past 5 years. Givian
and Brent, and now this new Division song are getting talked a lot about. R&B so toxic these days, but like you said, I feel like they're the minority.
Wasn't that the whole thing though? Like, wasn't that the whole new lane? Like toxic. Since Weekend came about, like, that era wasn't that the new thing?
There was that steady progression where you had Weekend, where it was like this dark, druggy, toxic R&B. Then Party sort of cleaned it up a bit, where it's similar themes, but it sounds like you're having a good time.
Yeah.
And then you had Bryson that really brought that sound like mainstream, where a lot of those songs are like, man, I cheated and I feel bad about it, but I did cheat though.
Yeah.
And then from there, you've had your Givians, your Brents, whoever you want to point to. And I feel like all that other R&B though, has kept existing.
No, that's what I mean. Like, isn't that the reason these artists, like we were saying earlier, like, I don't know, that was the new lane, wasn't it?
Yeah,
like that isn't the majority.
Yeah, like, it's not the motorway, it's the lane.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I don't know, I feel like people just, as I said, lie. Where they're like, oh man, R&B ain't this anymore.
I think what it is because that new moody, toxic R&B is a lot more in the mainstream than... Like you said, before this... Who was talking about Division?
That's the
when
thing.
Would you hear them?
When they were making the Crying in the Rain R&B.
Like, when would you hear them on, like, the radio?
Genuinely,
when would you hear them
I've
being
never
talked
heard
about?
them out.
Where would they be trending? Like, do you know what I mean? It's that sound exists. It's just not as mainstream.
Yeah, fully.
So,
and I, yeah, as I said, like, I feel like people just need like an agenda where it's like, oh man, things aren't like they used to be.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, like, as I said, so many artists are dropping and not getting the attention other artists get. And it's like, you tell people to listen to it and they just don't. And it's like, well, then you can't complain everything's toxic because you're just not paying attention. It reminds me of like a few years ago when like your Conjurings and that were really big. And everyone was like, horror movies are nothing but jump scares now. And it's like, the mainstream ones that you keep watching, yeah. But there's a whole bunch of other shit that like you're just not watching.
It's because the only people that moan like are the ones who like they're not like real fans of a genre. They just if it's not in the mainstream and it's not what they see and hear.
Well, I'm convinced most people didn't even hear this Division song, that they just listened to the snippet on Twitter.
They heard the sample.
That's what it was. They heard the hook and went, oh. Because I saw everyone suddenly saying Division can't sing, and I was like, bruv, I'll take a lot of slander. If you don't like the song, you don't like the song, that's cool. You know, that's totally, you know, what's the term? Where, like, it's up to you if you, you know, subjective, whether or not you like a song. But to argue, like, Division can't sing, like, what are we doing? Like, come on, man. Like, really? Division? Like, I'll go listen to the line and we can see if they can't sing or not. I don't know. And even at the end of the music video for this new song, they tease, like, a classic-sounding Division song. So I was like, so what's the problem? Like, this is just the single.
Yeah.
Like, it's like if... It reminds me a bit of like P3, where people hear Not Nice and go, "Ah, Party changed his whole sound."
It's exactly what that was. Because how many people on like social media like hate on P3 and say like, "Oh, it's like it's just not Party."
Yeah,
like,
it's this that island sound. Just
like, but then when you sit down and listen to it song by song, like, come on.
Yeah, like the majority are not that.
It's Party next door. Like,
yeah.
Like the first P, like P1, 2, and 3, they all, it fits as like a trilogy of like.
That's the thing.
But you can't tell me. People just like to, like you say, they hear the mainstream thing, because people are talking about it. That's what it is.
Yeah, fully.
Like,
and it's so outlandish it like warrants people to have an opinion. Where it's like, whoa.
But like, it's good marketing.
Yeah, absolutely. As I said, it is the perfect lead single.
I
like the song a bit more than you. I think it is quite catchy. If it came on in the club, I'd shake my head so people know I vigorously disagree with it. But I think it would be a fun like sound in the club. You know what I mean? It's an upbeat kind of thing. Whereas, like you said, I can't really say that about Division prior to this.
No, I've never seen so many people talk about Division.
Yeah, genuinely.
Honestly. So like, it's again good marketing.
Yeah,
it's got people talking.
Yeah, and I mean they came in with an absolute screamer for the Toxic Olympics. Yeah. I think they stole gold.
Last minute,
extra time. They came in, scored the penalty out of nowhere.
But where is Black in all of this? Is what you got to ask yourself.
I need to know because every pod we ask this question,
and we've spoken a lot of things into existence, but we haven't been able to get Black.
I mean, I think we ended Phase 4. Because last pod we were slagging it off, and Kevin Feige came out and was like, Phase 4 is over.
Thank fuck for that.
So I think we might be the most influential podcast, because like
That
it's
came out of
getting
nowhere.
strange at this point.
I swear that guy just like makes it up as he goes along.
Bruv,
Phase 4's done, but like there's a film next month, and that's Phase 5. Don't worry about it.
mate, everything about that felt like they were in like free fall, and we're like, don't worry, guys.
It's like people aren't resonating with this. Let's end it and act like we're doing something different, even though it's the same.
Oh, it's exactly the same movies we were gonna make, but like
it's just Phase 5, isn't it?
Our influence. You can thank us for that. There was something else as well where it happened. I was like, we talked about that on the pod. But yeah, Black, drop, please. Whatever sound it is.
I need it. I genuinely need a Black.
Yeah. I've been. It's been fucking ridiculous amount of time.
Way too long.
So yeah, I think that about wraps up new music.
There's nothing else we've missed.
Not certainly not big releases. There's a couple of little releases I want to shout out where another duo, a bit like Division, called They. They're also a singer and a producer.
Right.
They've dropped like 3 banging singles. I mean, they've dropped tapes before. Like if the audience goes back, listen to the Amanda tape that they dropped. That was an absolute banger. And if people are going, I want kind of classic-ish R&B with like a modern twist, like, I don't know. They ain't missed yet for me. Who else dropped?
Obviously Drake and DJ
Khaled. I was going to
to
say that I knew there was... Yeah. So, we kind of talked about it a bit off mic, but thoughts on Staying Alive?
I don't know. It's just like, it's Drake, isn't it? Like,
yeah, and Lil Baby. The two of them go together so well.
They do go together. A lot of people were hating on it.
Really? I didn't see anyone talk about it, so I had no idea what the reaction to this was. The most I saw was women thirsting over Drake in the music video.
I don't know, like, I feel like I shouldn't like it, but for some reason I do.
It's so catchy. I don't know. I can't explain it. As I said to you before, it sort of to me felt like whilst they were making CLB, DJ Khaled was like, yo, Drake, that Way Too Sexy song, can I have it? And Drake was like, no. But you can have like another like kind of sample interpolation of an old song.
It's that thing DJ Khaled does whenever Drake drops an album. He's like, any Lucy's? Any Lucy's for me? Like, any throwaways for me? And like, yeah. So we get this.
You know, I wish it had another verse or something. Like, it's very short. It does feel short.
Have you heard Beyonce's?
I haven't.
Album.
Have you?
No, I haven't.
I was gonna say good.
That'll be one. That'll be one for the next pod.
It's the summer of Unce Unce.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say I liked Break My Soul from the start. I know a lot of people were like, it grew on me. When I heard it in the context of the album, I liked it. And I was like, no, man, that was a banger from the first day it dropped. Did you hear the Weeknd Summer Walker remix?
I haven't, no. I haven't. Good?
Yeah, I thought it was good. I like that Weeknd sort of getting back in his R&B collab bag. You know what I mean? Him and Summer work really well together.
Do they?
My only criticism is it feels weird to hear Best Friends and not hear the outro. Like, where it sort of goes into is there someone else? Like, I get it, it's a remix. Of course that wasn't going to be there, but it's just like, felt like someone was waging like psychological warfare on me, where I was like, wait a minute, where's the outro? But apart from that, I don't think there's really been many things that have dropped.
No.
So yeah, that'll wrap us up on music. Where should we? Do you want to start with Daredevil, or we sort of talked about The Boys briefly, but I can't really remember our conversation. I'll be honest, so I'm happy to have that again.
Should we talk about Daredevil first?
Okay, let's go. So, Kevin Feige came out on stage. He said, "The pod has spoken. Phase 4's over, and also Daredevil's in everything, and he's also getting a show, 18 episodes."
And we're giving him the yellow suit. Ish.
Sort of. It's like the Netflix suit, like spray painted yellow.
Which is genuinely what it is. It's like...
when I saw it, I was like, interesting. So thoughts? We're also getting him in Echo, obviously.
She-Hulk,
and this Spider-Man animated series.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
I genuinely don't know, because on paper it's like everything I wanted.
18
like,
episodes.
18
Daredevil,
like they're
Vincent D'Onofrio back. I think we know Karen and Foggy are back as well. I think we saw that confirmed.
The title, I like the title.
You like the title?
I think it's ain't it like paying homage to the comic?
Yeah. So,
which they kind of,
I was gonna say
they
did. Well, and I think it's in name only. Anyway,
you think?
I think it's just they're calling it Born Again because
soft,
like Homecoming. Ha ha ha.
True,
like,
true.
It's double entendre because if they are adapting Born Again, they've failed already because like you're not going to do better than season 3. Season 3 isn't a straight adaptation of Born Again, but it takes so many elements. You'd be like, I've seen this.
There's not much left.
Yeah, like genuinely, I don't know what you could take from it outside of Karen
being
sleeping with a load of men. Like that's it. That's the only thing they didn't adapt.
The thing I found interesting was the episode number.
18 episodes.
Because like that does seem like a lot.
Yeah.
So the thing I want to know is how long the episodes are going to be.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because does that mean we're going to get like 30-minute episodes to make up for the fact that there's so many episodes? Or are we going to get like 50-minute episodes?
Yeah, because I mean the Netflix shows were 13 episodes and already some of them felt a little bit like...
I thought Daredevil was the only one that justified it. Like, But
I'm saying like it was easy even for them to feel a bit overstuffed. Like Daredevil, I agree. I think each season justified it.
Yeah.
Even when like season 2 was a mess, but they felt like you could have cut.
No, they were doing too much.
Yeah, that's the problem.
They weren't like. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it wasn't.
It needed more room to breathe. It didn't need to be
basically
cut. So.
Or it needed like massive cuts. It needed one or the other. It wasn't just a simple like, cut down an episode or 2.
You either made it like a 2-part season, or you just cut like the whole one of the storylines.
Yeah. Did you see also Rosario Dawson accidentally confirmed that like Punisher's getting a show?
Yes, I saw that. Yeah.
So they're all in on the Netflix stuff because I think we know Jessica Jones is coming back as well. In this, I think in She-Hulk. I think we know that's why Daredevil's there, is he's like looking for Jessica Jones or something.
I wonder how far they're gonna go with the Netflix stuff though. So like, the thing I really want to know is like, what is it? Is it gonna be a soft reboot? Like, because
I mean, yeah. The thing is, they almost have to commit to whether it is or not, because does Kingpin know who Daredevil is? Yes or no? You know what? Like, you have to answer that. You can't keep that ambiguous. Like, he either knows or he don't, and that will tell you whether or not the last shows matter or not. Like, I don't know. It's kind of weird how they've got this set up, because we already got Kingpin in Hawkeye, and he felt like a whole different character there.
That's what's worrying me.
I'm sort of like, how are you gonna do this?
Yeah, but then like also the cop, the actor that plays the officer.
Oh yeah.
What's his name in Daredevil?
I can't remember.
Brett Mahoney.
Yeah.
He like confirmed he's coming back as well.
Okay.
So like that makes me think.
Yeah. Hopefully that means like everyone. And that gives me hope we are keeping it like street level. Because I know Kevin Feige said he's the leader of the street level side of Marvel, but like he also said Spider-Man was, and I was like,
yeah.
Bruv, which of the Tom Holland movies is street level? I guess Homecoming. I'll be fair. Homecoming is pretty street level.
Yeah. Bar like the Iron Man stuff.
Yeah, but even then, it's like they're stealing from Iron Man. I think that works as street level.
No, it's the only one.
Yeah, but after that, like, which of them is street level? The one where he travels all over Europe, or the one where like the universe implodes around him? My favorite street level story.
Yeah, for real. He had like, come on, because you can't make Daredevil like mystical, and surely like. I can't. Come on.
When they adapt Shadowland, I will remind you of this. And
it's
he's
just
like possessed by a demon and runs the hand and builds like a hand temple. But in the middle of New York.
They would do like the most.
Of course, they always pick the worst stories. That's what I'm coming to realize with the MCU is. Bear of No Way Home took from like One Moment in Time and One More Day, which are like everyone's least favorite Spider-Man stories. So it would not surprise me if they fucking adapt Daredevil and go, yo, we're doing Shadowland, the story no one fucking likes. It really would not surprise me at this point.
The thing is they're set up beautifully. They don't even like have to think about it. Just continue from season 3.
Yeah.
You can like
season 3 already left things kind of fresh.
Genuinely, like, because
back to status quo.
He went back to being like. He wasn't overpowered like he was in season 2. It was back to the basics, and then by the end, it's like him, Karen, and Foggy are like starting again.
Yeah, they've got the law firm.
It's perfect. So just
Kingpin's back in jail. Like it's status quo.
Just make Bullseye the villain.
Yeah,
Continue from where he was. Bang. You don't have to explain anything.
Yeah.
Make it one of them things where like if you watch the first 3 seasons.
Yeah,
it will help.
It'll recap some stuff,
but you don't need to watch it.
Yeah.
Just act. Do you know what I mean? But
I mean, maybe that's why he's in the yellow suit. Is it because obviously Bullseye killed a load of people in the red one? It's like, I didn't want to be associated with that.
It makes sense.
I will say, yes, the yellow suit is the original Daredevil costume from the 60s. I do think it looks kind of shit. I think the red is iconic. I've only ever liked the yellow suit in Daredevil Yellow, which is deliberately kind of a 60s throwback. I think that's the only context it really works in. I think
the reason
he's a devil. He should be red.
The reason it looks bad is because it's just the Netflix suit. Yeah,
which already isn't great.
Yeah, which like, and you've just painted the head piece yellow. And part of the chest yellow. So it's just
and like the gauntlets.
I don't know. Like, why can't they just?
But maybe that's just for She-Hulk, and then in his show he'll be in the classic red.
Just give him like what he wears in season 3. Just make it red. Put the dude on the chest. Just make him a ninja, like.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't mind if they overhauled the suit and made it less armory. Basically. I think that's
and
always been the problem.
They have such a good opportunity to do it.
Yeah. So when I saw it was just the Netflix suit, I was a bit like, oh, that's like the worst part of the show is the suit. Like they fix it in season 2 a bit, I will say, but. I've never liked it. It always felt like a bad version of like the Dark Knight suit.
Yeah.
Like, which already isn't a great bat suit, but.
And I don't know why it never really like sits right on Charlie Cox.
Yeah, his face.
Because when it looks
his face, I think
it looks better on when Bullseye wears it.
Yeah.
Like he just looks so much slimmer with it. Like whereas like on Charlie, it just looks a bit like bulky.
Yeah, I don't know if Charlie Cox is quite short. I don't know.
Yeah, it's something to do with like that bit.
Yeah.
Cut out and it looks weird on him.
As I said, I do think it looks better in season 2. after he rebuilds it, after he gets shot in the head. Yeah, I mean, I am intrigued to see, because where we now know Punisher's coming back, I'm interested to see what we do. Hopefully Marvel have listened to Aaron and I specifically. They tuned into the pod and have sort of taken the criticisms on board and are going to go in a different direction with things.
The only thing that's like giving me hope about Daredevil is the fact it already has a fan base. It already has like content to go off. It's not like Moon Knight where they're adapting something that hasn't been adapted.
Well,
so,
and
like, it's
just don't. You know what I mean? Like, Daredevil is popular enough. I don't think they're just gonna not adapt the character, especially like you said, where the show already exists.
But I would be so worried if they turned around and said new Daredevil show, but it's a new cast.
Yeah.
Then I'd be like, it's going to be shit.
Yeah, definitely.
But the fact is, same cast. It gives me a bit of hope. It's like, they at least have to follow the show somewhat.
Yeah, definitely. You would hope so, because as I said, either way, season 3 gotten back to status quo so well. I think they can just do their own thing and harken back to it a bit. Provide, depending, unless like, but no, even then, even if Elektra rolls up, I think there's room for that. Like, I don't think there's anything really that's too like, because if they contradict Defenders, who's gonna fucking no, you can't do that, because in episode 4 of Defenders it was said that like
you can like easily bring Elektra back. Like you don't like.
I mean, I was shocked when I saw season 3 how open they left it to her. Like, they never find a body. Yeah, that to me was like, oh, season 4 she was definitely coming back at some point.
Genuinely, the thing I'm wondering is, like, do you think he'll have like crossovers, major crossovers? I know, like, he's already in She-Hulk and that, but I mean, like, with like the big characters.
What do I think? Is he going to be in like Avengers, the Kang Dynasty?
I don't know about Avengers, but it'd be in the next Spider-Man or stuff like that.
Maybe if they really are going hard on this, we're doing street level, I could see him being in the next Spider-Man. There it is a whole can of worms because it's Sony, I will say, but especially if they keep with this, every Spider-Man movie's got a crossover with an MCU character, I could see them being like, Daredevil,
because he was in No Way Home.
Especially if we do like a back to basics, like street level Spider-Man thing. Who knows? Apart from that, sure, I could. The sky's the limit. He could show up anywhere at the end of the day. Like, I could see places they could throw him in. I could also see them not really doing that.
It's just because, like, it seems like right now they're all in on Daredevil.
Yeah.
She-Hulk, Echo, 18 episode show.
Yeah. Like we said, Punisher coming back. Jessica Jones allegedly coming back.
So do you reckon we'll get like Luke Cage and Iron Fist? Surely we don't get Iron Fist.
I reckon there's a big chance we could get Luke Cage. Iron Fist, I don't know. I could see them throwing him in like the next Shang-Chi or something.
But like as the same actor.
Yeah, and taking the piss. I think they would make fun of him.
Because apparently the actress from Iron Fist was meant to be in Shang-Chi.
Yeah, but I think it was a different character.
Oh, it was a different character.
I think that's why she didn't do it. It's because she was like, then I won't be able to return as... Or wait, I think that character becomes Iron Fist in the comics anyway. I could see them just throwing her in. Because, that way you sidestep the whole white guy kung fu thing, and nobody liked that show. I could see them being like, nope, she, the one thing I have heard is good about Iron Fist. Yep, she is the new Iron Fist. She has the power now.
Yeah.
Shang-Chi 2. They're going to fight Elektra in the Hand. I'm still sticking by, I'm expecting the Hand to be in Shang-Chi 2. Probably. Especially now.
Surely.
I could see Daredevil in that. If it's a whole kung fu thing, he fights ninjas, I could see them somehow doing that. You know,
yeah.
he would fit. Shang-Chi is normally a street level character, so obviously they gave him weird powers in the movie, but who knows?
What did you think about the Avengers reveal?
I feel nothing. I feel so ambivalent. 2 Avengers movies in 1 year. Okay. I hate that the Avengers have gone from a team movie to like a big event thing, where we can't just have an Avengers movie anymore. Now it's got to be like, it's basically code word for the whole Marvel universe. Like, I don't know. Sure, they're going to fight Kang. I like that actor. And then Secret Wars. Sure. I don't know. I don't even read into the titles too much because Marvel just... Well, comic book movies in general just... Oh, that's a cool title.
Yeah.
I'll slap it on my thing that has nothing to do with it at all. If it is an adaptation of Secret Wars, the Jonathan Hickman one, I don't want to watch that because that's like one of the best comics ever written. And I don't want to see like MCU-ified. I would cry in the cinema. I just don't want to see that. Like, but Hugh Jackman will show up as like, I don't care about any of that. The appeal of Secret Wars, the comic, isn't that we took all the universes and merged them. It was like the story. Yeah. So I don't really care that it's the name of the thing. And to be fair, maybe it's not that Secret Wars. Maybe it's the original one, which was basically an action figure commercial in the 80s where like this guy makes like a planet and he just takes all your favorite Marvel superheroes and puts them on the planet to fight. So I could see them doing that. I don't know.
I mean, that would be such an easy MCU film.
Yeah, like, I don't know. At the end of the day,
but I wonder what the plan is though. Like, Kang Dynasty.
The thing is, Marvel are so big now. There were mistakes in their timeline of all the things they're bringing out. They literally forgot things.
Yeah, like, and quite a few projects.
Yeah, like Moon Knight wasn't anywhere to be seen, and I was like, that came out like 2 months ago. How have you already forgotten you made that?
Genuinely, yeah.
Or like the Armor Wars wasn't on there, and the writer had to come out and be like, it's not cancelled, guys. They just didn't put it on the list. And it's like, maybe that's when you're making too much stuff.
They are.
When you can't even keep fucking track of it.
It's way too much.
on your little timeline, which should be the easiest thing in the world to point at and go, yes, here's when this is coming out, here's when this is coming out. When you can't even keep track of what you've made and what you've not made.
And like you say, it's not even like, it's a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Projects from like a couple months ago, they're just forgetting.
But I don't want us to get wrapped up in the wider MCU, because I think last pod, if you go back and listen to that, this doesn't really change anything for me.
Yeah, same.
Outside of, I like Daredevil.
Yeah.
I will watch his show. You know what I mean? Like, I like Spider-Man. I'll watch that animated show because it seems in its own universe.
That sounds kind of cool.
It sounds like, what if MCU Spider-Man was actually an adaptation of the comics? So I'm excited.
Yeah, because it's not canon in the MCU.
Yeah.
So,
which is losing meaning now, because the MCU, they're like, it is in the MCU, it's just not in our MCU. And I'm like, so it's not in the MCU. That's like saying the X-Men movies aren't in the MCU, but they are. Yeah. Like, no, they're literally not. The MCU is one thing. You can't stop pretending that, like, oh yes, all these other things.
For real.
You know.
But I'm the same as you. I don't really. It doesn't really mean anything to me, apart from the Daredevil stuff.
Yeah, I'm excited for that, and
that's what I want.
Yeah, you know, if the rumors about Gustavo Fring playing Professor X are true, I'm hyped.
I'm
That's
here for
great
that.
casting.
That would be.
Especially if you do sort of the morally grey Professor X of the comics, where it's sort of like, is he a good guy? Is he kind of a prick? Like, I could see him playing that role perfectly. Either way.
I think he'd be a great casting.
Yeah, and immediately makes it different from McAvoy's performance, where he's sort of younger and all of that. I think it does a good job, like, distinguishing the MCU X-Men from just being, hey, you like those Fox movies even though they weren't very good, so like here's a load of those actors again, sort of thing. I think it does a good job making them unique. Not that they were announced on this timeline, and as I said, that is just a rumor, so I
think you do have to make it different though. Like,
have to.
Please don't just do that and just
Yeah.
bring those X-Men into that.
Well, especially where, as I said, those movies aren't very good.
No, like, and some of them are like shit.
Yeah.
Bad.
So I'm not really, and most of them are directed by an alleged nonce. So I'm not really that married to bringing those X-Men in.
No.
And those X-Men don't even really adapt the comics anyway. So it's not like you're limited. Like, oh man, but then we can't adapt because they did it.
I don't think they will bring those X-Men in. Like the whole. Because even when we got WandaVision, and they like to kind of troll everyone with the Evan Peters thing. So hopefully it's fresh. Like,
I agree.
Hopefully.
So The Boys.
Yes.
Keep it superhero related. Season 3. You said it was your favourite season, right?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was quite good.
Yeah, I thought it was good as well. I personally still think I prefer season 2, but it was another solid season, I thought.
Yeah. I feel like it's definitely become more self-aware in a way, where like they're leaning into the fact that it's more parodying other superhero stuff.
Yeah.
But they're aware of it. Like, it's not just cheaply just using it for a gag. If that makes sense. I thought Soldier Boy was a cool new character. I like the stuff with him.
I wish we got a little bit more.
Same.
I think they could have gone a bit further with it.
My main issue with season 3 was the ending. I didn't love.
Yeah.
Where it kind of just, like,
it felt like they were setting up for like the final confrontation. And it's like, whoa,
we can't do that.
We don't want to end the show, sort of thing.
Because it was like, like Butcher and Soldier Boy, they built it all up, and then it just kind of fizzled out.
Yeah. I agree with that. Well, and even Maeve and Homelander, like all of it felt a bit like, whoa.
Yeah.
Actually, no.
We can't do that.
Tease you a bit, but nah. We're not going all
two
the
more
way
seasons.
Yeah. I will say I'm glad they have an end in sight, because my big fear going into this season, when I saw like the first episode, I was like, I hope they're going somewhere with this. I don't want to see like 10 seasons of The Boys where it's like, oh, now we're parodying this.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. I was a bit worried that it was just going to be like, who are the Butcher and the Boys getting this week? This week it's a parody of fucking whoever, but they're weird and sexual and violent. You know what I mean? I was sort of worried it was going to devolve into that.
Yeah.
And I'm glad the season didn't. And as I said, that they have an end goal in sight.
My other thing is, like, it seems like every season kind of ends in the same way, where it's like build up to the gang like facing off against Homelander,
and then they reach an uneasy truth.
Yeah, and then it's like, oh yeah, we'll remember that.
Yeah. Like, why doesn't he just kill them all in this season? I don't remember.
Homelander.
Yeah. Like in the last episode, why does he not just like? Because his son's there, I guess. Oh yeah, because his son's like, let's go. It's a flip of season 2. Right.
Yeah.
I don't know if I believe that Homelander wouldn't immediately like fly back and fucking murder them all. Like, I don't know. It even felt a bit forced that he was like, Starlight's too popular to murder her. I'm like, bruv, she just outed you to the... Do you care?
Well, I think that's what they're getting at the end.
Yeah.
When he just lays the gun.
Yeah. And everyone
like,
cheers.
Yeah. And they're like leaning into that thing where like he has a fan base of like toxic white men.
Yeah.
And that fucking character. The one that MM's.
Yeah, I will say I thought that was forced. I just felt it threw her so far under the bus. Like, how could she not know?
Yeah.
That this man is fucking
obsessed.
Yeah, and also
with Homelander.
I need to rewatch season 1 and 2 to remember, but MM's told her about like soups, right? And
that's
like,
why they're not together, though, is it not? Because he's because he like.
But surely obsessed. She would, even if she doesn't agree with what her husband does, she wouldn't be okay with her daughter like idolizing Homelander. Like, she knows who Homelander is, right?
Surely.
Surely MM said, "Oh yeah, by the way, he like murdered a ton of people and like raped thingy's wife, Butcher's wife." Like, where they're sort of meant to be a parody of like celebrities, isn't that like letting your kid grow up dressing up as Kevin Spacey or someone? Like, I don't know. Like, it felt so like, what does the mom like? As I said, I thought it kind of threw her under the bus a bit too easily.
I mean, he just felt like a cheap plot device. Like,
he didn't need to be tied into MM like that.
I didn't get it. What the thing you could have just done is where the daughter, I don't know, kids like they just watch, they're just on YouTube like all day. So just have her like come across Homelander and like start liking him. And have that be the conflict where he has to try and explain to her. You don't need this.
Or he could be a YouTube personality who like puts people on to like. I mean, he could be the teacher. He's a teacher, right? He could be her teacher at school, and he's sort of pushing his students to like Homelander. Yeah. And then MM and the mum could have an like you said, it could be that where sort of it brings it in that way. It just felt so bizarre where I was like, what does she see in him? And how well does she know? Like, he's walking around dressed as Homelander. Like, what? How does she not go, that's a red flag? Yeah. Like, as I said, it just sort of threw her under the bus a bit too hard for me.
And where are they going to go with it now? Because he was literally at a rally where Homelander lasers a guy's head off.
And goes, yeah.
So what? Like, what's next? He's going to take the daughter to one of them rallies?
I don't know. Or maybe he's going to like go super incel where the wife leaves him because of that. And he like becomes really racist and that. Probably. And like, you know, the really alt-right anti.
I mean, this is what they're building, right? Like, Homelander's going to be like the
he's basically becoming what's Stormfront. That's it. Yeah. He's basically becoming her in slow motion.
But like now, he'll have like a mainstream fan base.
Yeah. So yeah, the other thing that didn't work for me is the Congresswoman still. I thought this season we were going to flesh her out. We did a tiny bit. I still just... Number one, the boys are so good at like parodying stuff and poking fun at stuff and commenting on a lot of like social issues. I don't know what she's meant to be a like commentary on. Because it sort of feels like it should be like that whole, all corrupt politicians are corrupt thing, but like it just doesn't. It feels very ambiguous.
I think it's more like the system is rigged.
Yeah, I guess.
Where it's like no matter what side you're fighting for, it's all rigged.
Yeah.
Because like she's literally basically this like stepdaughter of
Stan Edgar.
Yeah, Stan Edgar. So
Gustavo Fring.
as we know,
who had to duck out because he was like, look, I gotta finish filming Better Call Saul, so I'll be here for like 2 episodes.
I hated that he just ducked out.
It felt like they were setting him up to be the big bad,
Mm.
and then they were sort of like, but he's filming.
Yeah, but it was like he's the only one that can keep Homelander in check.
Yeah,
and then that just.
I wonder if I was saying I could see next season him being the replacement for like Mallory, because he should be the most knowledgeable person on Supes, right? I could see where Butch is kind of on this downward spiral, him being like the enemy of my enemy sort of thing, because they've already interacted a bit. Yeah. I could see him going to him and being like, Stan, you give me everything information wise I want,
we'll kill him.
I solve your bad product problem.
Yeah.
I hope that's not the end of him, because that'd be such a fucking lame end. And it'd be a good commentary on the whole idea that like CEOs and that get caught doing horrific shit, just take a pay cut, step away, and get away with it.
Yeah.
Like, it'd be a good commentary on that.
I'm surprised Homelander didn't kill him as well.
What, when he fucking laid into him?
Yeah.
I think their Homelander's not sure if he can get away with just like murdering indiscriminately. That's sort of the build up to the end, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess.
Next season, it's going to be really hard to buy that he doesn't just fucking
kill everything.
Yeah, like I already have that with a lot of the boys, where I don't get Homelander's power set. Where, why does anything ever stop? Can he not just fucking murder everyone at any given moment?
But I mean, he kind of like he says about that to Starlight, doesn't he? That the conversation they have where he's like, if you take like the fan base away from me, then what's stopping me from like destroying the world?
Yeah, because he craves approval. I just mean like, there's been a lot of moments where it's like Homelander has him cornered, and I'm like, can he not just like fucking punch through them? Like, I don't know. It's a bit weird sometimes with that. Yeah, I mean, The Boys is solid. I think all 3 seasons are a very similar quality. It's a really good show. I stand by. I think Invincible's superior, mostly because they aren't limited by live action as a budget.
Yeah.
I also just think it's got a bit more to say about like superheroes and that, like, as a concept, rather than just like, haha, what if Aquaman fucked fish? You know, I mean, I feel like it's a bit cleverer than.
But I think
but that's its nature as a comic, isn't it?
And it it's like I said, I think this season it leans into that even more because it's popular. Like the fans like. Oh, we did the
Ant-Man going in the butt thing. Yeah, there's a penis.
Yeah. Like they understand. Like this will get people talking.
Yeah, which is why I kind of wish they did a bit more with Soldier Boy, because it's like. That's such an interesting idea of like Captain America, but like, what if he was from the 40s, like a regular person from the 40s transplanted to now?
Yeah.
I don't know. I as I said, I just wish they did a tiny bit more with him, because what we got was good. I thought like the whole idea he's like deeply traumatized and won't acknowledge it.
I thought he was great.
And the best new character was fucking. Paul Reiser from Stranger Things and Aliens, where he's like the ex.
Oh yeah.
He was great. I was like, where has he been the whole show?
No, yeah, he was hilarious.
But yeah, apart from that, I don't have too. As I said, The Boys is very consistent. Like all 3 seasons. Whilst, as I said, I think season 2 is the best. I don't think there's like a wide gap in quality between any of them. I think they're all pretty consistent with great acting from all the leads.
Yeah.
You know, like Homelander's fucking.
He's great.
Yeah, and Butcher as well. I think Carl Urban acts the shit out of.
He has the worst like Cockney accent I've ever heard, but
it like works.
Yeah.
For me, like it works for the show. Like I don't know, for the character, it sort of feels like he's putting it on. Like,
yeah, he's trying to lay it on thick.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, like you say, all the leads are great. But I wonder what the end goal will be. Like, is it just going to be like Homelander's just running the country?
Or like, is it like Apocalypse where he like fucking gets in this massive super war and like cities are leveled? And I mean, I don't know, do they have the budget for that? I don't fucking know. Maybe that's why they're saying 2 more seasons. It's next season, keep building the hype, and then
last season
blow
the budget.
Yeah, we'll do like 8 episodes, but they'll all be like hour and a half. Huge budget, lot of big fights. But then Homelander gets like one shot 3 episodes in,
right?
And it turns out that the real villain was like Queen Maeve just turns evil out of nowhere.
Not Starlight.
Starlight, yes.
She just turns
evil. That's even better.
Starlight
just fucking turns evil.
Loses her shit. Just starts like killing random civilians.
Yeah. And Huey has to kill her at the end.
And yeah.
And then the show just ends, and like Frenchie becomes king of the world. Who has a better story than Frenchie?
Frenchie the broken.
Frenchie the crackhead. Who has a better story? Is any part of you excited for this new Game of Thrones spin-off?
No. I think it looks kind of shit. Mid, I believe is what the kids.
Mids.
It looks kind of
big mids.
Just looks like it's got a few things on paper that would make you go, ooh.
I think visually it looks very impressive. Like I think visually the style looks a lot better than Game of Thrones. Like the Iron Throne, I think looks sick.
Yeah, it looks better. But
I think all the armors and stuff, like there's a lot more color in there.
But like, I don't
care. Yeah.
It's. I don't know. I'll probably watch it and see. But right now I'm just kind of like.
Yeah, I'll probably watch an episode. I just. Yeah. I why do I care about the prequel to something when I know it ends badly?
But they're making a Jon Snow sequel show for some reason.
Because Kit Harington wants to buy a yacht. That's the only reason that can exist.
Why? What is it going to be?
I guess you could say, I don't want it.
I don't want it.
I don't want it.
But like
HBO came into my house and told me that, and I said,
I don't want it.
I don't want it.
I don't want it. Well, like, are they gonna try?
I think that's gonna be in trying to fix all the stuff, like all
but
the White
can't,
Walkers.
But you can't.
But I can. I can.
You can't.
Watch me try and fix it. And it'll be like, do you like me now? And it'll be like, no, it's still a shit ending.
They should have just been like, Game of Thrones season 9. Like, we're doing it. And we're going to retcon everything.
We're just doing 8 again.
Yeah. Because he goes beyond the wall, right?
Yeah.
That's how his story
Yeah. He gets banished.
So like, what is it just going to be? His adventures beyond the wall?
Yeah. As I said, I think it'll be trying to like be like, oh, here's what was up with the White Walkers.
I mean, that's because what else is beyond the wall? Because Wildlands are like wiped out. No,
but like they could get better. We did that with the Dothraki. They all got wiped out by the Army of the Dead, and then they were back 2 episodes later. I don't think the thing with Game of Thrones is you can recover from a fuck up anytime. The problem with Game of Thrones is the whole world was watching when you fucked up. So like, you can't get away with like, people didn't really fuck with it, but they've kind of forgotten about it.
No.
Like, Game of Thrones, like, we were all there, tuned in. Like, millions of people saw you fumble the bag.
And it was a big fumble.
Like,
it was a big bag to fumble.
Yeah.
Like, it was the biggest show on the planet.
Yeah. That's that's why I'm like, you can't.
And it's like universally agreed. It was a shit.
Like, it's not polarizing. It's not like Last Jedi or other things that have come out and been kind of a 50-50 split where some people love it, some people hate it. Like, everyone is like, the last season of Game of Thrones was bad.
Yeah.
You get the odd person that's like, oh, I think it wasn't that bad. But no one's like, oh, it was amazing.
Yeah. Everyone was disappointed.
Yes, on some level. Even if you think, oh, you lot overhype how bad it is. Fair enough. But you don't think it's great. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Still
like,
disappointed.
No one is there like, oh, perfect ending.
Yeah.
No notes.
No notes.
Like,
but what? because I know they will. They're gonna try retcon at least a bit of it. So like, but what? How are they gonna do it?
The Night King was Jon Snow's.
He was in Daenerys' head, which is why she turned
and his
evil.
spirit is now somewhere else.
She was warged into.
Yeah, well, and they'll like make up a load of scenes where like you see Daenerys like losing her mind.
They'll patch it in. They'll be
no.
She was always like turning evil.
The Mind Flayer was her all along.
Vecna was always behind it. So
that's why Daenerys loves spiders. It was Vecna all along.
You are so right though. They're gonna do it. She will be in it like in flashback scenes. But
the only thing that might stop that is I think Emilia Clarke hates how the series ended as well, and might be like, "There's no way I'm ever putting that platinum wig on ever again in my life." That's the only way that won't happen.
But maybe they don't even need her to like.
Yeah, it'll just be people talk about it.
Yeah.
Where like, oh yeah, remember when Daenerys did this?
Or like
all the fans will be like, that wasn't in the show.
He'll find like a book, and it'll be like her thoughts, like her diary, like, and it'll just be like her losing her mind. Yeah,
they'll just CGI her in. It'll be like the Luke from Mandalorian. Like it'll just be Daenerys Targaryen.
I just find it interesting, like. Because he's come out and said he wanted to do it, right?
Yeah, but like, of course he did.
Yeah, I know.
He wants to buy a new house.
I know, but like, so like, what? I wonder what the conversation was. Like, where did we take the story?
If anything, that makes me more nervous because I'm like, the actor coming in and saying, I want to do this, makes me more worried than if someone came in and said, yo, I have a great Jon Snow story.
Well, that's the thing, because like, they clearly didn't have... It weren't like, we have a story we want to tell. It's like, Kit Harington wants to do a Jon Snow.
Yeah,
that will make money, so let's...
But will it?
Yeah.
I think so. There still... Does Game of Thrones still have the capital? I don't know. I mean, this new spin-off, I think, will tell if it's successful
to an extent, but like everyone, like it's Jon Snow, isn't it? Like I'll probably even watch it, like even though
you're a stronger man than me.
I'll be honest.
I guess you're gonna tune in, and I'm not.
I would watch it just to see what it is. Like what's the vibe
and see what people said.
See,
I don't think I could bring myself to watch more Game of Thrones. I think that's the main issue with all of it. Is I'm like, you fucked up so badly, why would I ever trust you again?
But I'm like, it's genuinely like has me intrigued. Like, why? What is the story gonna be? What route are they gonna go?
Jon Snow on the quest for more money.
Yeah, it's just him beyond the wall. Like.
Yeah, I mean, because of all three of or four, not including Bran, of all three of the surviving Stark kids. His is probably the last one I'd want to see a show about, because Arya, you could do anything. She's sailing and she finds some weird shit. That could be a show. Sansa, she's running the north. You could do a cool political something there, I guess. Jon Snow's just in the north.
I guess that gives them the most freedom.
But does it?
I think so, because you can make anything up. Oh yeah, this is beyond the wall.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Because apart from like the wildlings, you never really.
Yeah, well, and the walkers.
Yeah, but do you know what I mean? Like.
Yeah, he's gonna go to that place where we saw the Night King take the baby and turn like.
And they'll try, like you said, flesh them out.
Yeah. Be like, I know we were gonna do this in the Long Night spin-off, but that didn't go through, so we're gonna do it here now.
With Jon Snow.
Because we deliberately fucked that storyline up in season 8, just so we could save it for a spin-off. So
what?
It'll go. Yeah, I mean, either way, Game of Thrones. It is a name. At the end of the day, people will tune in. I just don't know how many anymore.
Yeah.
Because the second you become a joke, it's very hard to shake that.
Yeah, like you said, if this spin-off is bad, then it could be in doubt.
Yeah. As I said, to me, more than the Jon Snow spin-off, I think this is what... Because if people don't care about the world, I don't know if they do care about Kit Harington as Jon Snow now. I don't know. Maybe. But I don't think so. But I saw our influence did extend to the orcs in this new Lord of the Rings show, because they've gone back to practical effects. So
that's all you needed to hear.
That's it.
We'll be watching now.
I mean, I'll give it a go. I don't know. Lord of the Rings, it's 3 perfect movies, and they've never been able to recapture it. So I don't really trust people. Like, even the original director couldn't. So I don't really trust a bunch of new people to.
But maybe that's what it needs.
Maybe, yeah, maybe it does need a fresh set of.
Because he was kind of like, he was genuinely just trying to do like Lord of the Rings 2 with the Hobbit.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why. And like that is the complaint, isn't it? Like, they're just Lord of the Rings but worse. Yeah. Just, you know.
I mean, that's the problem is when Del Toro dropped out of doing the 2 Hobbit movies, and Peter Jackson came in, he sort of didn't have the prep time he had for Lord of the Rings. So it was sort of like, let's reuse all of this stuff from Lord of the Rings. Let's stretch it out. Let's do this. Like, there's not the passion there was. So, yeah, like you said, maybe it is what it needs. I don't know.
Because when does that come out? That comes
September. So next month. The Rings of Power. I mean, Amazon have done a pretty good job so far with their exclusives.
What do they have?
The Boys and Invincible.
Invincible.
Do they have other shows?
Surely. Let's Google it.
I know they've dropped that Paper Girls, which is another comic book adaptation, but I haven't gotten a chance to watch it yet, so I have no idea if it's any good or not.
Original programming.
Oh, they have the Top Gear thing, don't they? Whatever it's called. Not
Grand
Tour.
Grand Tour. So I don't think they have much. But
I was
the
gonna
Boys
say.
And it's not looking good. Yeah, Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power coming out. Yeah. I do want to watch
programming.
Sandman.
Oh yes,
on Netflix. That looks quite good.
Yes, it's a great comic series as well. You should read it. Highly recommend it.
Yeah, I've heard it's quite different,
esoteric and weird. Yes, it is. So I'm really curious how they visually adapt some of it.
It looks like cool to look at.
Cool. I've avoided most of it because I was like, well, I love Sandman. I'm gonna watch it anyway. So I'm here for it. Yeah, visually a lot of stuff in there. So if they even have like a 10th of the creativity, I'm here for it.
But I've heard good things.
Yeah.
About Sandman. And that's a DC.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. It's very disconnected.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Like that's kind of the appeal. Is it's like a comic thing, but it's not like a superhero.
Like thing. There's no crossovers or.
Not really. I mean, Constantine's in it early on, and he's a DC character who pops up a lot. Apart from him, I don't remember. I think there might be a point where like Superman's in it, but not really. I think it's more like a reference to him. I can't remember. It's not like they team up with da-da-da. I don't know. Like, it's very separate. It's sort of like the gods and that above, like, the real world. So, yeah, I'm super excited to see them adapt it all. Classic 90s Vertigo comics.
Because isn't Lucifer in
yes,
Sandman?
Yeah. Well, and they've cast, I think, Gwendolyn Christie.
Yeah, from Thrones.
That's quite wavy.
But, like, isn't the Lucifer show...
I think that is a very loose adaptation of a series about that character. I think.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. It's a bit like in the comic, like Constantine shows up, but I think because obviously he got a show.
Doesn't he have a film?
Yes, but the Keanu Reeves movie is basically in name only.
Oh, really?
And the fact that it's about demons and stuff, I guess. But apart from that, doesn't really have anything to do with the character. Like, he's a Liverpudlian guy, and he's Keanu Reeves in the movie. So
does he have like a Liverpudlian accent?
Nah, he's an American. Like, he's just Neo. It's a good movie, just very
nothing to do with the comic.
Yeah, basically nothing at all. As I said, sort of in name only. But yeah, they did do a show about him. But I know in Sandman they've flipped it where it's like an ancestor of his, because it's the actor that was in Doctor Who and played Queen Victoria in that Victoria show that I didn't watch. I didn't watch any of these royal programs.
What, The Crown?
Yeah. That's something we forgot when we were talking about what Netflix has.
The Crown.
Well, that's ending anyway, I think. Isn't this?
It's still going.
Yeah. Come on, mate.
Who cares?
Aron's official review of The Crown. Who cares?
It just
put down the poster. The poster is you see like the crown jewels with like a spotlight on them. Who cares? Aron Caldwell, 2022.
It's just like if someone were to sell that to you, like how would you sell that to someone? It's a show about the Queen, like the royals.
It's like Game of Thrones, but it's real. I know someone somewhere has pitched the show that way.
Probably,
they were like, oh, if Game of Thrones was real, but these are the real things that happen.
I can't imagine anything more boring than. I mean, I know they like drama. They like make it a drama. But no, not me, homie.
I can't imagine anything more boring.
Honestly,
that's hilarious. That's it TV wise. I don't think I have anything to throw in.
have I seen anything lately? Just a little shout out, Castlevania. Have you ever watched that?
No, the animated show, right? No, I've heard it's quite sick.
Yeah, because I watched the first 2 seasons when they came out, but then I fell off when season 3 came out. But
oh, it's that. I thought there were only 2 seasons.
No, I think there's 4.
Fucking hell.
I think, or is the 3rd one the last one? But it's a really good show.
I do need to.
It is a really good show.
Watch it. It is on my.
Yeah, 4 seasons, but I'm catching up again.
You're like going back through it. I'll definitely throw it on my list.
And it is great. Like,
yeah,
it's like adult animation. Like, it's super gory and.
Yeah. Amazing that they didn't capitalize on that show's success with like a game or anything.
They're making another Castlevania series.
Oh, they are.
Like, I think it's the same studio, but it's going to be a different timeline of Castlevania.
Of the show.
So the show is the same. I believe it's the same.
Yeah, because Castlevania the series like jumps around.
Yeah,
it's like Dracula keeps going like reincarnated.
And that's what they're doing.
Oh, that's cool.
It's a different Belmont.
That's
to
cool.
The one in
that's quite wavy.
So,
I played Lords of Shadow. Is that what it is?
I think so.
The like God of War type one.
Yeah,
I played that one. A bit of it. The demo. It was cool. Like werewolves and shit. Yeah, no, I do want to watch Castlevania. So, the only good video game adaptation.
Yeah, I guess.
We should definitely do a pod where we take like 3 or 4 video game movies and like talk about them.
Yeah.
Like, I think that could be fun. And like compare why like they don't work. Yeah, like, I don't know, like the first Resident Evil, the first Silent Hill. Like,
have you seen any of the Resident Evil show?
No, I heard it was diabolically bad, so I didn't watch it.
it's like they like you have the original Resident Evil films, and like which are like universally they're shit, but some people like them.
Yeah, I think someone at this table, he went to see one of them in the cinema.
I don't know what he's talking about. But they're like so shit, and like they like try and do the games in like a half-assed way.
Yeah, it's like like I don't even know how to describe. It's like Super Smash Bros, where like characters just roll up. Yeah, it's like that, but just Resident Evil.
And like it makes no sense, and it kind of just shits on the game's lore. But this one like is somehow worse.
That's amazing.
And
because they already rebooted the movie and no one liked that. Yeah. I don't get how they're just rapidly rebooting Resident Evil.
It's like that thing you told me about the Death Note thing. It's like they just keep making shit Resident Evil.
Except at least that was like what, 5 years ago?
And that was one film.
Yeah, this is like if they'd made a series of Death Note movies, another Death Note reboot movie, and then we're doing another show.
Why are they getting like green lit? Who's green lighting them?
I think they just see how much money the new games are making and are going, fuck.
I've never understood like why it's so hard to make a Resident Evil film or show.
Yeah, because surely you just do
a
bunch of people in a house and there's zombies.
It's so easy to adapt. You could adapt any of the games.
Yeah, but
within reason.
Even if you want to do it cheaply, like the first one is perfect because it's one location. You have most of the iconic characters, you know, and you can also throw in like all the weird bosses and that to make it unique, where it's not just, but it's just zombies in a house. You go, oh no, well there's also a big fuck off snake and a spider and da-da-da. Like, you can easily, and it doesn't need to be a one-to-one adaptation of that game, but just the core concept. People in a mansion full of weird monsters and zombies. One of them's a traitor. Boom.
But it's just
it's bizarre that the games or the movies are like, how do we adapt such a strange concept?
They keep making the same mistakes where it's like, we're gonna put some of the stuff you like from the games, but they're just gonna like be completely unrelated and out of nowhere,
random.
It's like in the show, like
they're like Wesker's kids or some shit.
Yeah, and like there's like a giant. I believe there's like a giant spider, and they try and do that.
Yeah.
But it's just, it's like,
what are we doing?
They want to put stuff in the games, but they don't want to adapt the games.
Yeah, it's very.
I never really understand it, because it's like the easiest thing to just one to one, and they tried doing it with the net. They couldn't even do it when they rebooted it with that
That's
Netflix
the thing.
film. They're like, oh, it has to be 1 and 2, and it has to like diverge a little bit.
Yeah, same thing there where I was so confused because everything prior like had me super excited where they were like, we're going back to, you know, the original games. It's going to be in the mansion. There was what's her name, Lisa. I saw that. I was like, amazing.
And then
then the rest of it, and you're like, oh no.
Yeah.
Do you think maybe part of it is like, with a lot of video game adaptations, they're sort of like, you got all this lore and stuff, and they just want to cram it all in, but they're like, we don't just want to do the games, sort of thing, and then it leads to this weird compromise where it's like, okay, well, we're not just going to adapt the game story, but we're going to throw in like Leon Kennedy is there. Well, you know, is it sort of that thing? But I wonder with a lot of.
Yeah, the thing I don't understand though is, in my opinion, you need to make a decision. You either do something completely different with the franchise, and have.
But then is the argument why make it that at all?
But. Because let me just finish the point.
Yeah, sure.
Because like, so you either do something completely different, where like there's barely any references to like the mainstream games, or you just adapt the video games. And the reason I say that is because Resident Evil as a franchise has already done that with 7 and 8. Not so much 8. Not so much 8.
It's just done its own thing.
It's completely different. There's barely any reference. It's loosely connected, like in 7, where like you can see like the pictures of the umbrella chopper.
Yeah, and you're sort of ambiguously working for whatever group it is. I can't remember the name of it.
Just one of the terrorist bio organizations. So I don't get, if the games have already done that with like, and like for the majority it's been a success. I know like there's the fans who like go, oh, I don't like how 7 is different, and then 8 kind of roped it back into the lore, but even then not really, bar like Chris being in it and the stuff at the end, like it is kind of doing its own thing again. So like I don't get why they can't just choose, because like the series is like fucking Wesker had like twin daughters, and Umbrella's like this new weird village, and I don't know, it's
I think the thing is Resident Evil's got a lot of iconic stuff in there that they want to acknowledge, like Wesker, Umbrella,
yeah.
But then also these new games are what's caused this new resurgence. So it's sort of like, but there's something different, and it leads to this weird thing. And the movies have their own fans because they were very successful. So you do want that audience. So it's this weird mishmash in terms of Resident Evil specifically. But I mean broader terms with video game adaptations. I just wonder if, I think movie studios are adapting the wrong stuff a lot of the time. Like, I wonder if Castlevania works. I haven't seen it yet, but I wonder if it works because the games are basically just a concept, story-wise, where it's, you have to go here and kill Dracula. It's this one family who every generation they have to go, or every however many generations have to go out and kill Dracula because he's resurrected.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the concept. So when you adapt it, you go, cool. So it's a guy going to kill Dracula.
But his
family are Dracula killers.
But they have room to breathe.
Yeah, there's
because
no
that's
like,
all the plot.
Oh, but this character's really famous, so you need them in there, and this location, and this enemy, and like, nah.
I think you're right.
Yeah, because otherwise you end up in like a Silent Hill position where it's, the game has all these iconic monsters, but we want to do our own thing, so we're just sort of gonna make an unrelated movie, and just the monsters that would be in that unrelated movie it's Pyramid Head, it's the nurses, it's like,
which is the same thing with the Resident Evil films, where it's like,
except Resident Evil has the added problem of characters are also iconic, where it's you need Leon in there, but then it's like, but if you have the character, you need some of their story, so we got to take bits of this, and like it just becomes a nightmare like fusion of everything.
But my thing is like, I think, I can't speak for like the Resident Evil fan base, but like if you just did a story, I don't know, like it's just a zombie story, you know, I don't know, like I don't have a plot, but it's completely unrelated. There's like a loose name drop here and there to like Umbrella. That's all you need, because that's what 7 is.
Yeah.
And like it was like the perfect reset. But like when you're doing, for me at least, when I'm watching it, I'm like, why even do like Wesker and all this?
It feels like they're adapting the bad parts of the games, where
like,
it's like this weird soap opera about Wesker and It's like those aren't the bits of the game people like.
Exactly.
Like the core appeal is zombies and monsters. Like that's what you should walk in aiming for, not the convoluted overlapping story arcs of so and so and some like. I think it's just they, with them, a bit like it seems like with the Halo show, they don't know what the core appeal was. They misunderstood what people like, and so sort of veered off in their own direction. How do you feel about this Last of Us TV show they're working on?
I'm not too sure, because
you're a big fan of both Last of Us games.
The number 2 left such a bad taste in my mouth that
As a franchise, you're like, it's done.
I don't know if it's done.
But for you personally, I mean, are you
I don't know. It's like, I'm not sure if I'll watch it. Like, because number one, Last of Us 1 is a perfect Last of Us show, movie, game.
Yeah,
like,
story.
Yeah, like, why do you need to do that in live action?
Once again, it seems like the wrong... I think something like a Castlevania, where it's very sparse, is a better thing to adapt than something with an in-depth lore.
Like, why did it have to be Joel and Ellie?
Yeah.
Why not do a Firefly show?
Yeah, or literally anyone. You could make it close to Joel and Ellie, where it's a guy and a girl. But it is Eol and Jelly.
Do it like
you know what I mean? Like,
you know the two the father and son you meet in the first one, and the son.
Yeah, sure. Or literally anyone. And it's just a world where it's...
Because I've had the Joel and Ellie story, and it was like perfect in the first game. So like, why do we...
Yeah, like...
need it again?
Especially with how cinematic that game is. Like, the appeal of the game is the story. It's not the gameplay, really. The gameplay's fun, but that's not... No one goes, oh, man.
People
what
remember
a great game to play.
They remember
Last
it for
of Us
the
gameplay
story.
fucking slaps. They go, oh, man, the story was great, emotional, like...
So I'm not too sure about that.
I mean, the casting I like Pedro Pascal's great, and I think it's the Mormont girl from Game of Thrones, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, that's good casting. I don't know, man. It's a bizarre choice to adapt for me.
And the other thing is, like, they're like remaking the first game.
Yeah.
For some reason.
For PS5, innit? His beard looks better now, I guess.
Yeah.
Advanced beard physics.
I don't know, like, maybe I've got that thing where I haven't played the first one in a while, but to me, like, it stands up, like, well. It still looks good.
Yeah, of course.
So, like, why...
I mean, I still play fucking 360 games, so I'm biased graphically anyway, but we remade it. Why do we need another
They remade it. They've remade it again, but, like, there's no new gameplay features.
Yeah.
It's just, like, it looks a bit better.
I guess, but even then, in places it don't, like, it just looks different. Like, I don't even know. Like, some things look better, some things look worse. It seems a very lateral move.
And it's full price.
It's full price.
Full price.
And I bet the multiplayer ain't in there. I bet they didn't remaster that, so you're technically getting less than the original. I'll bet.
Probably.
Like, it would shock me if they were like, oh yeah, and we remastered the multiplayer.
No, because they're making, like, a game for the multiplayer, ain't they? So surely it's not in there.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
I don't know.
You're getting less value for money. Full price. Fuck me. And games now like £70. Fucking hell.
Full price, yeah.
That's so dumb. I'm sorry, like.
Because isn't the first one on, like, that PlayStation Plus thing? Like, when you...
What, PS Now or whatever it's called?
No, like, there's this... On PS5, you get, like, a certain amount of games that are just on your console. Like God of War.
I don't know, I'm not a PS5 owner, unfortunately.
But I'm pretty sure the first one, the remastered first one, is already on there.
Oh, okay.
I think. I might be wrong. But I think it is. It's like all the big
hits.
If
so, then it's ridiculous.
It's just,
like,
why would you pay?
Who is it for?
For the people that didn't like the second one.
Except it seems to make things look more like the second one visually.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think it's just, we have this franchise, but it's only 2 games, so they've just got to keep justifying, like, new releases and shit.
Yeah, because we ain't getting a third one for a while.
Will you play a third one?
Probably not.
Damn, I kind of want to play 2, just to
you might
see
like it.
Why you feel so strongly about it.
Because I always push the point. The reason I like the games is for the story. And the second, like, the gameplay is amazing.
Oh, right.
But, like, why, if the story is bad, well, why do you
to me
play?
2 just set itself up for failure by continuing Joel and Ellie's story, because I was like, no matter what they do, and it sounds like they went in a fucking bizarre direction anyway.
Yeah.
But...
And they do that thing where it's like... like the Stranger Things thing, where like all along this is the
okay.
backstory of this character, why they're driven by this
no
is what
way.
they're driven by, and like it's not like you can get away with it. It's just the whole direction they went. I didn't like.
Interesting. Man, I thought it was just the one choice. I didn't realize it was like the
whole arc.
Okay, interesting.
Her whole
I'm
side of the
so
story.
curious.
They
might just watch
it's
it.
like bloated. The game is bloated.
Oh, really? Is it,
it's too long.
Oh, I swear.
They like could drag out Abby's story. I don't know.
Who's Abby, the villain?
No, you play well.
Oh, okay, rah.
You play as her.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
It's like her and Ellie. You play as.
Okay. Interesting.
And you play as Joel.
This. I might watch the. I did that with the first one originally before I got a PS4, so I might just watch it as a movie and see.
And like I'm like.
I'll report back.
Her characters are just all of the characters in her storyline are just like, I think they're just bad. Like,
interesting.
It's not interesting at all.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Fair enough.
It's
yeah. Not a recommendation from Aron, guys. Don't.
Great looking game.
Great looking game.
Gameplay
It looked
amazing.
great. This sounds like my fucking review of Doctor Strange too, where I was like, looked great. Story fucking diabolical, but it looked great, man. Visually. Those graphics.
Them graphics.
Them polygons. What would be your ideal thing if they announced it tomorrow? We're adapting this into a movie or show, video game wise. What would you go? Oh, perfect.
Good question.
Is there something where you're like, or you've been waiting for your whole life, where you're like, oh god, why don't they just fucking make da-da-da?
What, game into a film?
Yeah. If it, obviously it could be good or bad, but something you wouldn't immediately go, for fuck's sake, why are they doing that? Yeah.
That's a good question.
I suppose how you're a big Metal Gear fan. How do you feel about where they're constantly talking about doing a movie of that?
I think it could work.
Because I think that's like doing a Last of Us thing, where I'm just like, but they are a movie. I don't know what that would be. They're like a 5-hour movie.
It depends where they go with it, though.
If it
like
was
for me, the perfect Metal Gear film would just be doing Snake Eater as a film. Because like you say, 4 is basically a film.
Yeah. I mean, because what's his name? The guy that did Kong Skull Island, he constantly is working on a Metal Gear movie. And it seems like he would just do the first game. Do you think that would work? Or
I think that could be cool.
Forcing it?
I think it could be cool. I think it's the simplest story.
Yeah, that one, Snake Eater.
Yeah,
you're right there.
So yeah, because if you try doing if you try doing 2 as a film,
yeah, that'd be. I don't know if the world could take live action Vamp. I don't know if the world could handle that. Fucking imagine the ending with the Colonel. How would that even fucking work? Naked Raiden running around.
Yeah. Who would you cast as Snake though?
David Hayter. I don't know. Because who was he? Was he talking about Oscar Isaacs or someone? Yeah. That's not bad casting. I don't know. The thing is, to me, David Hayter is Snake. I just can't see anyone else playing that role. Really, solid Snake.
If you could biologically de-age Clint Eastwood,
yeah, that would work.
He has the screwed up face. He has the voice.
Yeah. He's clearly inspired by Eastwood roles. Yeah, that could work.
You got the voice, the face, but I don't know who I would cast now.
Yeah, now I don't know. I don't see a lot of actors play that sort of role where it's sort of the rugged
spy.
Yeah, I don't know. Nowadays, there's so much comedy in characters and that. I don't really, see that. Where an actor, as I said, Oscar Isaacs isn't a bad shout, but he's not someone I immediately go, yo, perfect casting. I mean, he's a great actor at the end of the day, so I'm like, cool.
Oh, he is, yeah.
But I don't think that movie will ever happen.
No, they've been talking about it for years.
Yeah. You know what I mean? I just don't believe it.
Even
when they cast Oscar Isaacs, I was like, yeah, but this movie
will it happen? But what about you then, as like a video game adaptation? Because I don't really know off the top of my head.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's
like,
a good question.
There's things I've always thought about. I could see like doing like but then, because my thing is, I'm always like, I could see if you just did like a comedic dark comedy crime show and called it Grand Theft Auto, I think it could work. But then I'm like,
yeah,
but is that not just Breaking Bad? But you rename it. You know what I mean? Like
5 is like inspired by Breaking Bad.
Yeah,
in, like, a lot of places.
4 takes a lot from Sopranos. Like it's
because it's a parody, isn't it?
Yeah.
GTA is always a parody.
Yeah. So I'm sort of like, I don't know if that would be anything. I mean, I would like to see it.
What if they did a Dead Space?
Yeah, I just don't think anyone would give them the budget for that. I would love that. I would fucking adore that. Like just
like a modern day Alien type film.
Yeah, where it's just
it's
these fucking horrific monsters coming. Like, I would be here for it. That or a BioShock thing. I would love to see.
BioShock would be really cool.
Yeah, a while ago they were doing a movie, but it fell through because they were like, the budget we'd need for an R-rated movie, like they wouldn't give it to them at the time.
I think that's you always start off on the wrong foot with video game adaptations because you need a good budget. Yeah,
of course.
But like, it's interesting because like, obviously going back to Castlevania, that's animated. So like,
yeah, I could see. And yeah, they did Dead Space animated movies back in the day for the first game, where it's sort of a prequel thing, and it looks fine. It's all right. I like Dead Space, so I like it. But yeah, I don't know. It's so difficult, but it is like, would you not want to see like the live act? Otherwise, I'm like, but then it's just the cutscenes a lot of the time. Like Castlevania works because, as I said, they already weren't really a story like that. And
like the original games are just like side scrollers.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not like you're regressing. Whereas if you sort of did an animated
Dead Space,
yeah, I'd sort of be like, but the cutscenes look better in the game.
That's
like,
true.
Sort of thing.
That's true.
Well, they don't have cutscenes in the games, but yeah,
it just looks.
You know what I mean? Like, just visually, it wouldn't look as good. So I don't know. It's so difficult. Like you said, you start off on the wrong foot with so many things that I don't. There's not something I immediately go, oh yeah, that should be a movie or a game or not a game or a TV show or whatever you pick. It always feels like you're sort of like, oh, I mean, I'd like to see it in live action, but it'll probably be shit.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, Pyramid Head in live action looked cool, but like that movie was not good. Yeah, I don't know.
Like, there's what good video game adaptations have there been? Realistically,
Castlevania, you're saying?
Bars.
That's it. Genuinely, I heard what is it? They did a prequel show to recently. Was it League of Legends or whatever?
Oh, Dota, did they?
Or something? Yeah, they did that animated show. I heard is great on Netflix, and I was like, I don't care, but fair enough. That sounds cool, I guess.
I can't think of one. There isn't. Like, that's always the argument.
Genuinely, is there? Like, we asked this about live action anime last week, and you literally said it's like video game adaptations. And genuinely, I think it's the same way. I don't think there's a good one, really.
No.
Like, there's ones you're like, oh, it wasn't that bad. Like, maybe you're fonder of one of the Resident Evils, or the first Silent Hill movie is, if you take it on its own terms, it's not that bad. Whatever you want to look at.
I like some parts of the first Silent Hill, but admittedly, I'm not like a massive fan of the games.
As I said, as on its own, maybe. Even then, I don't think it's very good, but still.
No, I'll admit it is bad. But I like.
It's like the first Resident Evil movie. I think it's fun.
Yeah.
But is it a good movie?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. The bar's low.
Yeah.
With
the bar's in hell. Like, it's not just low. Like, the bar has delved into the depths of Earth, and Gwendolyn Christie's Lucifer is chilling with it. Like, I don't know.
You know what? Like, Doom, yeah, like I know the film is shit, but I feel like that you have a lot of room to make a good Doom film.
Yeah, just a space marine fighting demons, but then R-rated, you need a budget. Same thing.
True, but like
in a hypothetical world, I agree. I think it could easily work.
But
especially if you did like a Doom 3 where it's more horror themed, I think that could be a lot of fun.
Because like, on paper, like Doom film, Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah. Well, and Carl Urban is the lead. Nowadays, if you made that movie, it would fucking maybe slap. I don't know. The Rock has a very wide miss ratio with his movies, but
he's the go-to guy of like average action film.
Average is being generous.
Yeah, in some cases.
Yeah. Oh, and he also plays the villain in that movie, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he turns, doesn't he?
Yeah,
like,
he turns
into like a weird
pinky
demon.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think Doom would be a solid thing to adapt. It's something I can picture the movie, whereas when people talk about like a Minecraft movie, I'm like, what would that even be?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like, what is
Castaway?
Yeah. But they're block people, I get. Like, there's so many things like that where when people talk about, they should do a video.
Detective Pikachu as a good adaptation.
We will take it. That's it.
Done.
Psyduck alone makes that great. I love that character. That's my main takeaway.
That's it.
Yeah, I forgot that movie existed.
Yeah, we got one.
And even then, is it like a video game adaptation?
True, because it's like,
is it like Pokemon as a concept?
Yeah, it's a spin-off of a spin-off.
Yeah, and even you know what I mean? Like, it's so loosely a bit. I mean, sort of like the Castlevania thing. There's not a lot to fuck up with the concept of Pikachu, but he's a detective.
But maybe that's the sign. Like,
I genuinely think you should adapt looser stuff where there's not this hard, like with Halo, there's so much lore. Oh, how do we do all this lore? Like, pick something you just, it's a simple fucking concept that you don't have to worry about.
Just like, yeah, I think that's the issue. Because with the Halo one especially, it's like, we're doing a Halo show, it's going to be about Master Chief. Already pressure. Because like, if you're doing that, that means you have to stick to the games. Otherwise, you're going to get like angry Halo fans.
Of course.
Whereas like, if you were like, we're doing a Halo show about an elite that's stuck on a planet and he's fighting off floods, and it's like a survival horror show, then it's like, you can't really fuck up much.
Yeah.
If it's just an elite and he's fighting flood and he has an energy sword, you can't really fuck the lore that much.
Or like, it's set on a random human planet, the Covenant are invading, and it's about a team of Spartans holding out.
Yeah.
That's the movie. It's a siege movie where they need to hold out till transports to whatever. You know what I mean? Like, that's how you should probably do stuff with more complex lore. You don't adapt it. You just find a corner where you can reference it, and all the fucking nerds will be like, yes! They mentioned Penitent Tangent 403. My favorite AI. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to worry about, like, wait, but this contradicts the Halo Reach game, like the campaign. Like, what?
Because if the story's already been told in a somewhat live action thing, why does it need to be adapted?
Yeah, and like, you're not going to do it as well.
Yeah.
Or like, a lot of the time, the stories work for the medium they're in. Like, Halo 1 story works for the game, but if you just took that story and made it a movie, it would be a pretty shit movie, because you'd just be like, why is everyone constantly moving about this? Fuck, we have no room to breathe. There's no character interactions. Like, it works as a game because the medium it's in. It's like some books. If there's a lot of like internal narration, how do you adapt that to a film? Because like, you're not gonna have that to read. Like, as I said, with any where you're changing mediums, you're gonna run into that issue. So I just think, with games, they need to focus on like
use the lore
thing.
Yeah, but And I think, I mean, I definitely would. I'd respect it more if like it was like a loosely adapted thing, which has references to like the actual games. I think that would be cooler.
I mean, maybe this Warhammer's good. I don't know. I haven't seen it. I know he was a big Warhammer fan and was like, "This is how it fits into the lore." But I don't know if it was any good or not. As I said, I think we should do a pod where we pick like 5 video game movies and talk through them and go, here's what works, cool. Here's what don't.
Yeah.
As I said, it should be like Resident Evil, Silent Hill, and then like 2 or 3 others.
Yeah, what else is there?
House of the Dead. You've never seen it, have you?
No.
I need to inflict that on you. I've inflicted it on like all my other friends. I don't know how
I don't know how you would make a film of House of the Dead though.
We need to watch that.
That seems like the weirdest thing to make a film out of.
But maybe not, because in theory, the movie's fucking diabolical. But in theory, it's just a zombie shoot 'em up, right?
I know, but then wouldn't it just be like the most cliche zombie
yeah.
film?
Well, boy, do I have a movie for you? I suppose that's the thing that Resident Evil keeps fucking up. Is they're like, we don't want to be a generic zombie thing.
But the thing I don't get about that is Resident Evil's weird.
Yeah.
It's not just a zombie. It's long.
Maybe that weirdness doesn't translate to movies. Maybe it works in games. Sort of like we were talking about with Death Note. Where because everything's the same style, it works. But the second you have like just a big fuck off tarantula come wandering out. Maybe that, I don't know. But I think it should work, but...
Yeah, but it's like, instead of it just being a zombie film, what if it's like a slasher film and it's just Nemesis or Mr. X?
yeah, that could be cool.
Chasing a civilian.
One of the STARS members.
Yeah,
like this guy, this is the story of...
Like, it's just a straight up slasher.
Yeah, yeah. As I said, you reel it all back in. You go fuck off with the wider references, and you just find your little corner of the universe and go boom.
Simple. It wouldn't cost too much if it's just a like hour and a half.
Slasher. Yeah. But market trends and like we want to spend $20 million on it and then act surprised that we lost money. I think that's the thing. Is like because. Like, if you do a Halo thing, Halo is one of the biggest video game franchises. You're not just going to spend, like, a couple million to make a gritty war movie. You're going to... No, it needs to be a fucking space epic opera thing. Like, same with Resident Evil. You're not going to make a dark, dingy... Just in a fucking weird mansion fighting weird zombies and a couple of weird monsters, all, like, mainly practical effects. No, it needs to be a big fuck-off... CGI nightmare of all the characters. There's 20 characters rolling up. The world's ending. Boom.
Yeah, but I don't really get. Because, like I say, number one, you're gonna need to spend a shit ton of money to make it look good if you want to go that route. Because like how Halo live action, like how much money would you need to make it look good? Like.
And I mean, as I said, I think that's the thing is that they go, well, but the game sold this many copies.
Yeah.
So the movie will make this much money. And it's like, yeah, but that's so different. Like, I don't know, like, I feel like in games especially, age ratings make no impact on sales. You know what I mean? Like, all the CODs, all the kids play them. It doesn't matter if they're 15, 18, whatever they are. Like, nobody was like, oh, I think Black Ops is a bit adult for you. Yeah. So it's just army men. It's just army men shooting each other.
But this
guy got his eye stabbed.
This is the thing, because like to me it's very clear that most video game adaptations are just cash grabs. Because like if you really respected the medium and the source material, wouldn't you use a show or a film to like further the lore?
Yeah,
instead of just we're making the game into a film.
I mean that was a lot of what things tried early on with like the whole multimedia empire thing. Like the Dead Space is a good example where it's like the animated movie isn't just the game; it's a prequel. It's the But it is like it makes them feel more disposable, I think. And I think movie studios, if they're investing a lot of money and they don't want to be like, no, our movie didn't happen over there. Our movie fucking matters. It's,
I know.
You know what I mean? Like,
and like it's in their heads. Yeah, if it's about Master Chief. Like,
yeah.
money.
Oh, well, the game's a Master Chief.
Yeah, money.
Actually, Halo 3 and ODS. No.
Money.
Game's a
money,
Master Chief.
Money.
We want to put Master Chief on the face of Paramount Plus so we can fucking sell that Master Chief is in our streaming network.
No, but that is what it is, isn't it? It's like all the video games, like
all the video
game adaptations. Like, come on.
That's why Last of Us, the TV show, was always going to be Joel and Ellie.
Yeah,
because well, it's Last of Us.
Like, people will watch that.
yeah, but it's Joel and Ellie.
Like,
it's like the Mickey Mouse. You know, they're the thing. You're gonna have the mascot.
That is what it is.
The box art is them. If they're on the box art, they're gonna be in the movie.
But the thing I don't understand is does no studio see the trend that most of them flop, and like 90% of them are shit.
To be fair, they are a lot rarer now than they used to be. Like, okay, Resident Evil, but as I said, Resident Evil has been a successful movie series. Whether they're good or not is a whole nother conversation, but in a general terms, those made a lot of money.
They did, yeah.
So I get why they keep trying it. But everything else...
But the thing is, like, Sonic's made money.
Of course, that's a fucking video game movie. I forgot about.
Yeah. And they make money.
Yeah. They made two of them. They're making a third one.
Yeah.
Even though it looks like it stepped out of the year 2003, where it's like, oh look, I'm with my CGI Sonic in the real world.
Sonic 3.
When Knuckles rolls up and he's voiced by...
He's in the second one. Idris Elba.
Not Knuckles, Shadow.
He's in
Shadow.
He's the end credit scene.
Yeah, so when they cast like somebody, and it's like, guns. Sonic 3 guns. Heroes like the poster's just him with a Glock. What a bizarre video game, by the way.
What a great video game. Shadow with 2 straps.
And a motorbike.
Yeah.
I was like, what? Even as a child, I was like, that looks so cool, but like, what? Why does he need a motorbike?
Yeah.
Is he not faster?
Oh, because he's got roller skates as well, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah, of course he skates. I played Sonic Heroes, come on. Never seen one of those movies. We'll try not to, unless you're like, that should be one of the 5. For our podcast, one of the 5 video game movies should be Sonic.
See, Sonic is just like, it's a weird one because
he's more of a mascot than...
Yeah, it's kind of like the Castlevania thing where like there's not really a story in the game, so they kind of make one.
I mean, I think that's why this Illumination Mario movie they're making is going to make $1 billion.
Chris Pratt.
It's Mario, arguably the most iconic video game character. The Minions people. Cha-ching. Chris Pratt. Cha-ching, I guess. All in one movie. That's going to make an obscene amount of money.
Is he going to speak? Have they confirmed if like...
Yeah, he's. I bet he's not going to do the voice. I think they confirmed he's not doing like, it's a me, Mario.
But like, will he have lines or will he just say that? And like, wahoo.
What?
Because like minions don't speak, do they? Like,
yeah, but Gru does.
True, but
if the fucking Mario movie is a silent movie, basically, where there's no lines of dialogue and it's just Chris Pratt going, wahoo, I will buy a ticket to see it. Just because what? No, it's going to be like, he'll come in and he'll like do the voice. Like, it's a me, Mario. Sorry about that. No. Like, that's how they'll do it.
It's gonna like, if we sat down and I thought about it, we could have the script. Like, it's gonna be so like basic.
I bet Bowser's gonna have like not the minions, but his minion, like as in his underlings, will be like the minions, where they're goofy, silly.
Yeah.
It'll be like Bowser Jr. and that, but they're like silly Minions people where they keep doing slapstick comedy. And Bowser's like, oh man, oh, I don't know what voice him, but he'll be like, oh, I hate when it happens. Am I right, guys? He'll have a silly voice. I think we could just like channel our thoughts and write the whole thing. I think you're right there.
It'll be so like,
just that formula of Mario, illumination, animation, and Chris Pratt merged into one.
Dollar bills.
So you didn't see Minions: The Rise of Gru?
No. How do they? I mean, they make money, but
I can't believe the Minions. Like, this is like the third Minions movie, and I was like, this is what I thought because I've seen the first Minions movie. I've also seen, I think, only Despicable Me 1. I don't think I've seen the second one.
I've only seen the first Despicable Me.
I've seen Despicable Me 1 and the first Minions movie. And I was like, oh, so the Minions movie will be about them, like, finding Gru, right? And it'll be like a Gru origin story. No, Gru is not in that fucking movie at all, I don't think.
What is the Minions film? The first one? Like, what is it? What's the premise?
The Minions need to find a new leader.
Because what happens to Gru?
No. So Gru, it's a prequel.
Oh yeah, okay.
It's Better Call Minions.
So who was there?
The Phantom Gru-ness. They go through a few. There's like a montage where it's like Napoleon and they accidentally get him shot by a cannon. Dracula, but they accidentally open the blinds and he gets melted. And other historical figures.
Hitler.
No. They were in an ice cave for the years of World War II. Don't worry.
Oh, is that?
Yeah. They established that. I think after Dracula, they like go to the Arctic until Despicable Me times. So they're like, they were in no way culpable for the Holocaust. Don't worry. The Minions were not at the Nuremberg trials. They did not do anything illegal. Oh, I think, there's like a dinosaur that's like their first ruler, and then like he gets killed by a boulder or something. I don't remember all of them, but there's a few they go through, and then they go live in the Arctic, and then it's like they're all sad.
So who becomes their?
They like go through a few people. Then I think the after credits scene is like Gru as a child, like drives past them, and they're like him.
But then like they make another one.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Because the new one is Rise of Gru.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what Minions 2 is. Unless I saw Minions 2 and didn't see Minions 1, I don't know.
Oh, mate.
The Minions universe. Unless it's a prequel to the prequel.
Yeah.
It's Minions 2. Fact check. I wanna know what the plot of Minions 2 is.
What a joke.
Oh, Rise of Gru is Minions 2?
Oh, there's only 2 Minions.
There's only 2. I thought it was a trilogy.
Ah.
I thought this was Return of the King, but no.
Despicable Me.
Oh, maybe they made Despicable Me 3 in between.
Oh, they
Minions
did. Yeah.
And Minions 2. See, I always forget it's Steve Carell as Gru.
Yeah, same.
Did you know I saw some footage of like old Office auditions, and you know who they nearly cast as Michael Scott?
Better Call Saul.
Yeah. I was like, that's sick.
He would have been a good.
He would have been. I'm glad he didn't, because obviously Saul is like perfect, but you know that's not bad casting at all.
It would have been different. Like he plays like the sleazy.
Yeah, he's more David Brent.
Yeah, he's an American David Brent.
Yeah,
whereas like Steve Carell kind of does his own thing.
Yeah, because season 1 they sort of can't figure out what to do with him. I feel like.
Yeah, it's because
they try and make him like the sleazy, and it's like Carell's too likable. So,
but he would have been a good.
Yeah, absolutely.
American
He would have been
David
a good American David Brent.
because I've seen the footage.
Yeah. I only just saw that like yesterday. The day
And
before.
Seth Rogen was going to be
Dwight. I don't think that. I don't know. That wouldn't have worked. Like, it'd have to be so different.
Yeah. No, I don't think that would have worked.
Like, because what's his name? Whoever plays Dwight is so like perfect in that role. Like, I don't know how else you could take that role. But yeah, we're at 2.5 hours. Is there anything you want to sort of wrap up on?
Not off the top of my head. I think we saved the other topics. Next pod.
Yeah.
So the video game adaptation.
We'll need some setup for that though, because we need to pick some to watch. Let's quickly. How do you feel about the Kid Cudi stuff? Let's try and keep it.
What is in the performance?
Yeah, so obviously he was brought in. He was set up to replace Kanye, and obviously got shit thrown at him on stage. He left.
Yeah.
People act like that's a bad. Like, how could he do that? Like, fucking what? Leave after getting shit thrown at him?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you? Then Mike Dean's suddenly off his tour, and then now obviously Kanye fucking took the piss out of him yesterday.
Yeah.
So I don't know, just kind of a brief.
I think that's it for Cudi and Ye.
Yeah, I think so.
Because like Cudi seems like pretty, in general, easygoing, but I feel like once you disrespect him, I feel like he'll remember it.
Yeah.
So I feel like Ye's like taking it too far.
Yeah, well, and that's probably why he's doing it, because he knows it like gets under.
Yeah, so I think that's it for them. But Rolling Loud, I don't know. They kind of set him up
so bad. Like, I was saying this to you Friday, I think, where I was like, I just don't get in what world Cudi is a replacement for Ye.
No, you can't. Like I love Cudi, but
yeah, because like
you can't.
Coachella replaced Ye with Weeknd,
Mm.
and that to me makes sense. They're a similar level of popularity.
Yeah,
Cudi is not. Like,
because for a festival goer, there's a good chunk of the crowd are there for the bigger artists, because they know they're like their bigger hits and stuff.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
So like, if you bought a ticket to that, Kanye West, like,
yeah.
Even if you're not a fan of Kanye, you're gonna know the bangers.
Exactly.
What he's gonna play.
Cudi, you're gonna know day and night.
Yeah.
Realistically, if you're just a casual, you know.
So they set him up.
Yeah, well,
and then he came out.
I don't think I like Cudi for that kind of show. I don't think he's a good headliner anyway. Like, if he did Wireless, I wouldn't think he's a good choice for a headliner. Like, he's, to me, is a good like number 2 on your bill. Yeah,
or like the one at the other stage, a bit more.
Yeah.
Like,
I can't see him being a main stage headline act on the level of like a Ye or whoever. That's just a very bizarre choice to me these days. Especially.
I think they thought they were being smart. Like, we'll just get Cudi then. Like,
yeah,
if you like Kanye, you must like Cudi.
I feel like if they must have known, surely,
because realistically you need a Travis.
Yeah.
Or fucking, I don't know, like Lil Wayne or someone on that caliber. Kanye West, like,
yeah,
it's
you need one of the biggest artists in the world to replace them.
Yeah, literally. And the thing that made it even worse is he came out.
Yeah.
Just to like take the piss.
And did a song he had with Cudi.
Yeah. Like I said, I think that's it for their relationship.
Yeah.
That's too far.
Yeah.
That's too far. But Kanye fans are just toxic, and you don't deserve Cudi.
Like, I don't know, man. I say it to you all the time. I get, if you're a Kanye fan and maybe you're not a fan of Cudi's music, that's fair enough. But acting like Cudi is like shit, I'm just like, bruv, you're shitting on your own fave's discography then.
Yeah, no, you can't.
Because what, do you just hate 808s and Kids See Ghosts?
Yeah.
Like,
Kid See Ghosts is the best work Ye's done in years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
yeah.
realistically.
Yeah, absolutely.
So like,
I had to think for a minute. I was like, wait, what's he brought out?
I like Donda, but
I didn't. So I'm agreeing with you even harder than you are.
but like you can't doubt that like Kids See Ghosts is like,
yeah, absolutely.
If Kids See Ghosts didn't drop, Ye would be in a very weird position musically.
Definitely.
Because like, what would you have had instead?
Ye was already kind of middlingly received. Jesus is King,
just bad.
Fucking what happened? And Donda was also a mixed reception.
But in that era where Ye, Jesus is King, then you have the gap.
Yeah, you're right.
Had any good?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Any great new Kanye West music?
Yeah, legitimately. You'd have had the Lil Pump song.
Yeah.
And that's it.
It's just toxic fan bases.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, who does Kanye say he hates? Okay, I hate them too. Same thing happened when him and Drake were beefing. Oh, Drake shit. They make up. Him and Drake are the two most influential artists ever sharing a stage together. This is a moment in history. And I'm like, bruv, you lot were slagging him off.
It's just dick riding, man.
Insane dick riding.
It's just like, you can't like.
Yeah.
But I would have been so devastated. Say like you went. Because me personally, I would have been like happy with Cudi. Like. But just because I'm a big fan.
Yeah, not a replacement for Ye though. That would have. I would have been like, what is happening?
But like, I would have been happy to have been seeing him. Like,
yeah, I guess.
Like, I would have been like, and then, say you were in that crowd, they were like, okay, like at least we're getting Cudi, and then he just walks off.
Yeah.
Because of like the Ye fans.
Yeah. Because you can't blame him. Like.
No, why? It's not.
Literally, he's in danger. Like, if one of those things had hit him like in the side of the head and he'd like fallen, like what then?
It's not him. It's like when Drake walked off at.
Yeah.
Camp
Flognor, yeah.
Like, it's not his. Like, if you're gonna boo him and throw shit at him, why? What's the point?
That crowd, fuck everyone in that crowd. I'm sorry if Drake is out there doing "Feel No Ways" and you're booing.
No, it's
some losers,
sauceless dons.
Fucking losers in that crowd.
I just don't get it either way. Even if you're in the group, who the fuck is Kid Cudi? Why do you start throwing shit?
Yeah. Number one, were there no other stages?
Yeah.
But I suppose no, because they were just there. Because they must have been at the front to get Cudi. That's what they were there for. Is they were basically there to say fuck you. Yeah,
because why would you? Because
it's not like Drake where it was a surprise.
Yeah, like they knew Ye had pulled out.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, they'd seen him earlier.
Maybe they thought he was going to come out.
No, I think they were there to be like, fuck you, Kid Cudi.
Yeah, probably.
Because sauceless dons, like you said.
It's just
dick riders.
Disgrace.
I think that's what it was. It's just like, fuck you, fuck your life. I just think I kind of worry the way we're mainstreaming a lot of things in performances. Like, I already think it's weird that we've mainstreamed throwing your phone on stage.
Yeah.
Where it's just sort of a normal thing now. And I'm like, bro, that is literally dangerous. Like.
Yeah. But then it's like, the artists are like being playful with it. Like they're.
Yeah, they are. I mean, but.
Kind of encouraging it.
That's the thing. But now Ye's doing that with throwing shit at artists you don't like. It's sort of like. We're gradually like just making concerts and that a less and less safe environment, I think.
I mean, yeah, that's twice this happened, like the Drake and now.
Yeah.
It's like,
I mean, obviously with Drake they weren't throwing things.
I know, but
I mean that is the reason he left though. Is I saw in that interview where he was like, I left because if they did start throwing shit, like it could have gone left. Like,
and like they probably would have.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's the next step?
Yeah.
From booing.
Yeah. So. Bro, they threw a fucking bin at Cudi.
Yeah, nice.
Bro, what the fuck? Where did they even get that from? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what the fuck was going on there? Where was security as well? All these people throwing shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Weak mentality. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Because you ruin it for everyone.
Yeah, genuinely.
Because like everyone who bought tickets would have been disappointed. But there would have been a good chunk. Like, you know what? At least let's just like we've got him. Let's vibe.
Whenever a headliner drops out, you can always get a refund. So if you were that devastated, Ye weren't doing it, you could have just Oh,
or like leave before Cudi comes on.
Yeah.
Why ruin it for everyone?
Genuinely.
It's like dons who talk in the cinema.
Yeah.
It's a fucking. I'll never understand it.
Yeah, it's fully, because you're just like, bro, what are you here for?
Yeah.
Or sit on their phone the whole time.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, you paid money to be here.
Yeah.
Good money.
Genuinely.
In any of those cases, or when people like have like food fights in the cinema, I'm always like, bro, that food is fucking pricey, and you're throwing it about.
That's a mortgage.
Fam.
That popcorn.
Did you see that thing where it was? A guy tweeted, he was like, took my girl to the cinema, let her buy whatever snack she liked, and there was an array of things she'd bought, like popcorn, Someone quote tweeted and said, could have put a down payment on a helicopter.
For real though, it's pricey. Like popcorn and a drink, you're at like £15 already.
And a hot dog and chocolate.
You can't go near the hot dog. The chocolate is it's disgraceful bump.
Nah, the water, a bottle of water, it's like £4.
It's just like
that's the thing I forget, where like I have the unlimited card. I'm like, oh yeah, this makes like food like a normal price. Like this isn't really a discount. This is just we're not gonna fucking annihilate you. Oh mate. Well, when you roll up to the Odeon Lux and it's like, yeah, we got like hot food you can buy in there. You're like, oh, that looks nice. How much is it? And you're like, fuck.
Shit.
Cinemas. Crazy. I think that's a good place to wrap up, though. I'm making no promises about the next podcast.
No,
I'm not gonna say what it's about, when it's coming out. But yeah, if you enjoyed the episode, give us a like, follow, subscribe. We're Don't Start a Podcast on TikTok, Instagram. If you follow us on Instagram, that's where I have all the links to our various places you can listen to and watch us. And yeah, I think that's it for me. So
until next time.
Yes, unless there isn't one. Peace.